Hey, what's up, Nope? Hey, everybody, how's it going? Hope you've had a safe and awesome week. So tonight we're going to be talking about comics that we think you should read. Some of these we might have talked about before, but it's been so long since we've done one like this that who knows? We probably forgot about some of the stuff. So just want to jump into it real quick with a couple of things before I bring everybody on. As always, want to give a huge shout out to Ed Davis and the team over there with Immortal Era. They met their goal. It was getting kind of close. They got 24 hours left for this campaign. They are 105% funded. So be sure you check them out. So we will be getting the book. I'm excited for that. Like, we had Ed on the show a couple weeks ago. It was a freaking awesome time. There's a reason this series has won awards. Just want to say that. There's a reason it has won some awards. Awesome book. We still hasn't launched yet, but you have the O'Hare pre-launch page still up. We are going to be talking about some other bad bug books, including a Kickstarter that just dropped the other day. So make sure you sign up for that pre-launch page right there. Another one that I want to talk about real fast, the Samurai Redneck Zombie Killer. This one is coming from, I guess, a new group, but not new to us. Comic Soup, which has our buddy Alan Dunford and Kit Wallace, is a part of this. I'm going to post the link to their Facebook. Now, you got to be careful because I need to talk to Kit or Alan. They have a Comic Soup link on one of their pictures, but it takes you to some random Instagram page that I don't think they're affiliated with. So make sure you click the Facebook link right there. So, pretty exciting stuff. On the EXP this past week, we had Jeremy Hahn, writer of The Beauty, which is an FX show, on. Talk about a couple of books, the Folk of Dooney Hill or Dooney Hollow, a new horror series that he's working on. A book that is a posthumously Stan Lee book that Jeremy worked on called Airwalker. Fun time. Tuesday we had Trish Forstner on. We're going to be talking about one of the books she's worked on later on when we talk about these comics we think you should read. Hey, Lyle, what's going on? Let's see. Let me search. I know I got Lyle's YouTube in the description, or it should still be there. But just in case, folks, make sure you check out Big Lyle talking about comics that I've never seen or heard from before. But it's always cool to have some information on stuff I've never known about. So very cool stuff there. And without further ado, let me bring on the other head of the Hydra. 2 of 3. 2 out of 3 ain't bad. Let's bring on the internet and America's imaginary friend, Sean.
What's going on, folks?
26 minutes early.
Yeah. Shit. Of course,
So-
I gotta go get my drink because I forgot my damn drink.
All right. Well, see?
And drink is gone. All right.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Hey,
Now I
Jeff,
gotta
what's
find
going on?
links. None of your links are clickable for me tonight.
I think that might be a YouTube thing going on right now because I've tried to put some links during experience shows, and some of them have not been clickable. So I'm going to check that in just a minute.
Yep. I'm trying to find the link to Comic Soup's thingy so I can back it.
You can't back it.
Oh.
That's just their Facebook page.
Oh, okay. Well, I found out I'm following it. Anyway. Yay, Ed funded.
Yes, Ed funded. And speaking of Ed, we're going to bring on one half of the Weirdos as I look for. I could have sworn I had Jeff's YouTube link in here, but I guess I don't. Jeff, I'm going to put your link in the chat here in just a second. But let's bring on the other Ed we know, Crime Ed. Prime, the weird one himself.
What's up, peoples?
Ooh, what's going on?
Not much, not much. Same old, same old. Saturday again. Seems like we do this show every day. Not that that's a bad thing. Except I'm sick of seeing Sean's ass when he gets up to get a drink.
Yep.
Oh, hey, there he is.
Yeah. All right.
Jay's too quiet. Did we interrupt him?
No, this was the segue. I brought you in so I could go find Anthony's
gotcha.
Comic Kid. His link. He does a show. It's Vampirella Book Club, where they've gone over the old Harris Vampirella. I hope I got
No
that
way, really?
Yeah, with Triple B and another guy that I'm so sorry I forget the gentleman's name, but I know he does the show with a lot of times Triple B is on there with him. Hey, Lorena, what's going on?
I might have to grab that link. What's up, Lorena?
Yeah, it's the older. That's all I remember. It's the older Vampirella stuff. I can't remember.
That's the good stuff.
Yeah, but I lurk because I don't know a whole lot of that about Vampirella, and Vampirella is not exactly like.
Has he got his own channel or something? Or
yeah, it's actually called Cantonese Comic Kid.
Oh, okay.
Oh man. I hope everybody's had a better week than me.
My urinary tract is clear.
All right.
So we're good.
All right, that's good. That's good.
That doesn't mean I'm not full of piss and vinegar, though. You know.
Well, I mean, you wouldn't be Ed if you weren't.
That's right. That's right.
That is what makes you you, brother.
Thank you. I try. I've worked at this for over 50 years to become as good a hole as I am today.
Hey, Lorena.
I almost for a second thought Lorena might have stayed in Vegas. Hadn't seen her in a while till last night on the Flames of the Phoenix show.
Well, you know what happens there stays there, but the people come home.
Yeah. But hope you're
usually
doing well. Yeah, hope you're doing well, Lorena. Hope everybody. Thanks for hanging out, folks. So, like I said, we're gonna talk about some comics. They're not exactly new. Some of them are, but we're gonna talk about some comics that we think you should check out. And if you got any suggestions for us after seeing some of the stuff we go through, please feel free to put them in the chat and talk about them. Let's see.
What's up, Nope?
Yeah, I know. I saw Nope earlier. Always good to see you.
Some of these books
that's
we were
not
noped
true.
into. In some of these books we were noped into.
Yes, that is true.
He's probably busy playing with his new bitch. He got a female dog.
They're so cute.
It was. It's adorable. Did you see the video of him playing with her? He maybe he only sent it to me, but it was when they first met, and the dog was like all over him, and he was wearing a black shirt, and he looked like he had like a white fur coat on when the dog jumped down. It was great.
That's amazing. So, real quick, folks, I know that not a lot of people have seen it, so I'm not going to go too into it. But we did go see Spider-Man Brand New Day at noon 30 on Thursday.
We did?
Well, we as in the wife and I.
I told you not to call me that on air.
Well, see, wife wouldn't be the word I would use to describe it. But
I can only imagine.
I try to keep it PG-13 on this show. All I got to say, folks, is loved it. It cements to me that these movies just keep getting better and better. I still like No Way Home a little bit more, but my goodness, if this next trilogy is anything like how they started this one.
I know you don't give a damn about numbers, but did you see the story today?
Yeah,
it has already broke 200 million. They're expecting it to blow away the Avengers opening weekend. And I'm like, good. It's nice to finally have some good news. And if anybody can save the comic world, it's Spidey, of course. Come on.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see that one.
I've said that if this movie doesn't make money, I don't know what the fans want anymore.
This movie's already made money.
Yeah, this was before we went and saw it.
Right.
And then after we watched it, I was like, there's no way this movie doesn't make some money. There's no
I said it after that last trailer came out, and I said it on every show I was on. This movie's going to break $2 billion. And from the looks of it, I think I'm on there. So, Ed recommended, gave, great. The chat's too. I can't read it.
Ed
is it like just me, or is it?
Oh, probably.
It's cut off. It says Ed recommended, gave Gurr, recommend with phobe.
Well, let's see.
She said Ed recommended, gave great recommendations with Phoenix. So.
Yeah, Michael and Paula are good people. I love their show. They've been my LCS ever since COVID. And the thing that's really cool about them, and I'm going to give them a plug, so if you don't like it, tough. But the thing that's cool about them is they know I teach, and they know I don't usually teach during the summer. So they let me build a box all summer long and don't invoice me until I'm a month back to work. And that's just cool as hell that they let me claim stuff when I'm not even working.
That's weird that it did that. I went to change the size of the chat, and now it kind of put the chat a little bit over Sean.
Oh, well. We all know I'm not important anyway.
Not sure.
The imaginary friend?
You can't see him anyway, so what's the difference?
That's true.
What is that? Oh, it's Jenna.
Yes. So,
hi, honey.
Not only did we see the movie, but in true tradition of us, that is weird that it did that with the chat. But we got our cup that have all the covers on it. I know this camera live doesn't really.
Because F you, that's
There we go. So there's the cup, and it probably also helps if I turn my light on. Maybe, I don't know. And then of course we had to get a popcorn bucket. Now we got this popcorn bucket for a particular reason. Okay. And that's the reason right there. The lid came with
that's cool.
Little Spider-Man hanging upside down, checking out his phone.
Looks like he flipped all over the top of it.
No, there's not. There's not, because I'm the only one that's watched it. So you got nothing to worry about. No spoilers at all. We'll be talking about that probably at a later date. But tonight, I just wanted to say that I love the movie, and I don't think so. Nope, I'm gonna have to show her that or
do pupper.
Risk her wrath. Now I got to move my stack of stuff over here.
So far, all I've gathered is new pup. It's white.
Oh, something else I wanted to show off. Jenna got me this while I was on the show with Henri this past Sunday. I finally got it unboxed.
Cupid. I just figured out it was Cupid. I'm like, what the hell is that over his head?
Super dope. Sits right here on my desk until I can get a shelf for it. If you would, dude, I'm sure she would love it.
Especially that little video of the dog attacking you guys when you first met. That was such a cute video.
Okay. Well, you know what? This chat is just going to...
Oh, Jesus Christ, yes. Yep, okay. We live reacted to the picture of the pup.
Yes. Oh, that makes me a little irritated, folks. I don't know what's going on with the chat thing tonight. I'm going to have to fix that off air eventually. But you're not going to see much of our faces tonight until it comes to what I'm showing, because I did most of mine as pool. I do have a couple of pictures, but for the most part, I pulled all the comics. Let's see. So I talked about that. So I want to get into what is going on here. Some of the links are broken. Let's see. We showed that one. What is this one? Oh, yeah, real fast, folks. Summoner Wars from Battle Quest. Battle Quest is a sponsor on the EXP. FOC for this book. It is August 17th. It sounds like a really cool premise. The artwork, I didn't grab any of those pictures of the artwork, but the artwork is fantastic.
Nice, Battle Quest.
Yeah, we've actually read some Battle Quest stuff, or at least I think maybe Sean has.
I have.
Yeah, in the past, pretty solid books. They, like I said, they're a sponsor for the EXP. They're helping get me paid, so I'm going to talk about them here, even though nobody has asked me to. I just show my appreciation. If any comic folks out there see this video or are watching, if you go to the explive.com, there should be a button somewhere that talks about marketing and stuff. You can check out some of the rates, and you want to have your stuff shown on the experience, just like I said, check it out. But I'm definitely looking forward to reading this one. Like, it looks really cool. So there's that. Where are the books? I talked about Spider-Man. Okay, that's what that was. All right, so my first book I want to talk about is actually...
Before you do that, though.
Yeah.
If Battle Quest's website is like it used to be, you can download a couple of their number ones for free digitally to check them out.
And let me go grab that link real fast.
Let me go... Yeah, because that's how I read a couple of their series, is they had those available that you can download right off the website.
Why does Jay not like August 17th?
Copy. What do you mean?
The little thing going across the bottom, it says fuck August 17th. You're welcome.
Okay, so yes, they still have one.
So Battle Quest is an actual publisher.
Yeah.
Way back in the day, I keep saying. But quite some time, I want to say last year, we had a bunch of spots for them that we played. I think they had I want to say they worked on that one book that had the catchy song that everybody loved.
Yeah.
But I can't remember.
Are you talking about that Something's Calling to Me?
No, but that was a Battle Quest book.
Oh God, I hated that so bad.
Their favorite book so far that I've read was Steel Siege. Great art book. But there is one free book on there that you can download to just kind of give them a feel for what get a feel for what they do.
Oh, Lorraine, I'm sorry to hear that.
Aw, I'm sorry, Lorena.
Never enough time with them. Never.
It goes by so fast, just like with everything else.
Yeah. So I'm stalling for a second, folks. I'm trying to look at something on Facebook just to see.
Kind of all over the place, tugging at the heartstrings.
Saw some pretty good trailers this week while Jay's messing around for some cool horror stuff coming up. One of them I'm really looking forward to was called Bloody Disgusting. Oh, that looks amazing. It looks like they don't let you know, obviously. It was just the first trailer. And it's opening in October for Halloween. Like, imagine that. Somebody smart enough to release a horror movie in October. But it looks like the little girl's mom is either possessed by something or has been replaced by something. And it's just got a really creepy vibe to it. And it shows, towards the end, it shows the quote-unquote mom contorting her body like possessed Regan did in The Exorcist and stuff. It looks really, really good. And then also coming this fall on, I think it was Prime, is this could either be a good thing or this could really be oh my God, I can't believe they did this thing. Prime is doing a series on Carrie from Stephen King. Mm-hmm. When I first started seeing it, I'm like, oh God, not another remake. But they've actually turned it into a series. So since it's a series, it's got me curious because it makes me wonder if they'll go into parts of the book that the movies, either one, didn't. Because that's actually one of my favorite books. And there's so much more that neither one of the movies put in there. But now that it's going to be a TV show, I'm hoping maybe they'll sneak some of that in, so I'll be sure to watch that. Are you ready yet, Jay? Have I killed enough time for you?
Yeah, you're good. I'm just still messing with the chat. I don't know why all of a sudden it's getting weird now. Yeah, we talked about the Carrie TV show a couple weeks ago, I think. So I was like,
with me on here?
Yeah, pretty sure.
Oh no, that must have been the week that you had the other Ed on. I had never heard of it before.
Oh, maybe there was, but yeah, we talked about it. It looks interesting. Now that one that you said, Bloody Disgusting,
yeah,
sounds really sounds familiar because I saw a trailer for one called The Other
I sent
Mommy.
the trailer to the group chat.
Yeah, there's one called The Other Mommy that trailer was the first trailer in a long time that's ever made me jump.
Oh, okay.
So it's
maybe that is the name of it. I think that was the name of it.
Because
Bloody Disgusting was the name of the
site.
Yeah. That's right. Yes, Other Mommy. It looks amazing.
Yeah, and Lorena, 10,000%. Marissa Tomei is, she's fire. Marissa Tomei is fire. I loved her as Aunt May.
Yeah, I'm still not happy they killed her off, but oh well. They didn't have an uncle to kill off, so.
I'm telling you, I think people think that it's just a nostalgia bait for me why I love that movie, and it's not. It's because No Way Home feels like the actual Spider-Man origin. Nobody knows who he is. He lost his aunt instead of his uncle.
Yep.
Yeah, super good. Okay, so let's get on to the. You know what I'm going to do first instead of getting to the books. I'm going to do.
Actually, Lorena, not to interrupt Jay, but he asked me to interrupt him, so I'm going to interrupt him.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, Lorena, I love Spider-Man. He's been my favorite forever, and that first Tom Holland Spider-Man movie is not that it's bad, but it's the least interesting of all of them. So you've seen the lowest one on the totem pole. They get better as they go along. So if the only reason you've only seen the first one was because you thought it was a little boring, I did too. But they get better as they go along. And
spoilers for Lorena.
Yeah. The third one, to me, is better than Endgame. I loved No Way Home.
She's not dead. That was a scroll. I wish, but I don't think we're going that route.
No, she doesn't die. Or something.
Yeah. For me, they just get progressively better. I think the third one's the best. Far From Home, I think, was really solid.
She didn't die. Her soul went to the multiverse.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's what's it. Let's go ahead and knock this out of the way because I want to talk about this. We're switching it up. I think I'm going to start doing this from now on. Let's talk about the book that was on Radiant Black. This was a pick from Sean, actually. So, yes, probably Rig. Hey, what's up? I was going to say 9-panel grid. I know it's 9-panel grid, but E. How's it going, E? So, this was Sean's pick. Sean had been on this train for a long time. I've been interested in reading it. I had never read it. Don't know why. I could have walked down the hall and borrowed it. There's 4 now, Lorena. Yeah, there's 4. There's going to be another trilogy out of this one. So, exciting. So, this is Radiant Black from Image Comics by Kyle Higgins, Marcelo Costa with Becca Carey. This was released February 10th, 2021. And I only read 2 issues. I'm going to talk about them real fast, and then I'm going to get Sean's overall thoughts because, like I said, he's been reading this a lot longer than I have. So,
brother, I only got 1 issue past this. Got another however many issues and I stopped reading. So, yeah. So I'm I got 3 issues in and then just completely stopped, even though I kept collecting it. I don't know how many issues I even have anymore.
Well, see, that's how you know you're a true comic collector, man. Your to-read pile is always going to be out of control, and hey, I'm going to go buy new books even though I have 8 stacks I haven't read yet.
Yes.
That's the best part about being a comic collector. But, okay. So this one starts out with our main character, Nathan, who is a writer who's just been turned down for a loan. He's a driver, which I guess is like that universe's Uber or whatever. But he's been turned down because he's almost $40,000 in credit card debt. And he's forced to move back to his hometown and live with his parents. The mom in this feels like a typical boy mom. Oh, my baby's back home. And the dad feels like the typical, I just want what's best for you, but I don't know how to say it without being a dick about it. Nathan's old friend Marshall had been talking to his folks and found out that Nathan was coming home and stops by to take him out to a bar to catch up. When they leave the bar, they notice this thing that's exactly the same shape on all sides on the train tracks, just hanging in the air. And for whatever reason, because, if you see something like that, your first instinct is to reach out and grab it. And that's exactly what Nathan does. And out of nowhere, this thing bonds with him, and he has a suit on. And after a pretty funny altercation with some cops that just happened to show up at the right time, there's a train coming, and Marshall's just kind of mouthing off to these cops. Well, Nathan basically saves him, and somehow he's lifted the train off the tracks and the cops off the ground. So apparently this is like a mind-linked kind of thing. So near the end of this first issue, though, we find out there's another person with a similar suit, but it's red, that's robbing banks.
Yeah.
Now, again, like I said, I only read 2 issues of this, but I get it now. Those 2 issues they're freaking awesome. And I'll definitely be reading more of this one and diving into the entire world they've built, because I want to say it's called like the Massive Verse, is what they call it. So anyway, just very awesome story so far. There's actually some animated clips out there on Instagram that has Will Friedle or Friedel, I never know how to pronounce the dude's name, voicing Radiant Black. But I would suggest reading first before you go and watch those.
I will say this to folks.
Yeah.
There is a huge twist that happens 3rd issue. It's 3rd or 4th issue.
Yes, I stopped the issue before the huge twist.
Yeah. I told Jay what it was. I'm not going to say it here because I want y'all to go read it. But when I read this, and ironically, you would think I would have kept reading after this. I was like, what the heck are they going to do? But it involves an altercation between Radiant Black and Radiant Red. And it's an immediate twist between those 2. Then there's also an individual Radiant Red series. There's a Radiant Pink as well. And then forget how many of the Radiants get them, but essentially it almost looks like at some point that there's like a Power Rangers thing. It's a huge universe that they wind together with this. So it's not just Radiant Black. You can check out the other series too.
You know what's funny is I have I think 4 issues of Radiant Black, but I've never read them, and I'll tell you why. And it's because I made friends with a artist on Facebook, and he was doing Remark sketches on covers, and just randomly sent me some, and they were of the Universal monsters. So I've got one with like Frankenstein, one with Dracula, and one with Wolfman, and they're all on Radiant Black comics. But I never opened them because I didn't want to screw up his Remark on the cover. So it's kind of funny.
So, folks, that was Radiant Black, and again, it was one of those books that I've been wanting to read for a while, just never got around to it. And now that I have, at least on Global Comics, I have 2 more days to finish as much as I can, because Global Comics is a site that Sean and I we pay for to read comics digitally, and apparently Image is leaving on the 3rd, so we got to read as much Image on that site as we can. It's going to something called Sweet Shop.
Yeah,
it's an app that hasn't launched yet, but it's got a ton of of publishers on it. So we're gonna check that out. But Global Comics is a good site. You get free books every month, like that you can add to your collection. It's got a bunch of stuff on there. Like I said, it's just digital comics to me feel like they're about to become like streaming, where you're gonna have to have like 8 or 9 different places to get everything you want. But
so yeah, that was Radiant Black.
Yeah, you want to check out Global Comics? There's a link right there. Check it out. Like I said, the Sweet Shop thing isn't up just yet. Once they actually launch, we'll check it out, and we'll give our thoughts on that. So on to the books we think you should read. It's funny enough, my first 2 are going to be Kickstarter campaigns that are going on right now, but I've read the issues. So first one I want to talk about, Pumpkin. This one felt like a Zenescope book. But
is this still on Kickstarter right now, or this is already over?
No, this literally just started.
That looks amazing.
Yeah, it's a good book.
This is from Obscura Comics. You might have heard Triple B on his show talking about some books from Obscura. Jenna found this one time during one of her, which she used to do the Space Cadet show. They were doing a Kickstarter thing where they were just looking through Kickstarters. She found this. We ordered it. We both really enjoyed it. Like I said, the art is fantastic. It feels like a Zenescope book, but different in a way that, and I'm not hating on Zenescope, but I think it was a better written story than if this would have been a Zenescope book, if that makes any sense. But
no
we only read...
No fish people?
No fish people. So this is one of those that we read the first issue. We could have collected the rest of it off Obscura Comics site or Sun Kumanaki's site, but we just hadn't gotten around to it. So we ended up backing this the other day. So basically what this is a story of a girl who gets killed, and she comes back as this demonic kind of, I don't want to say pumpkin queen because that's already taken, but kind of like a pumpkin themed revenge kind of thing. It's again, I'm not going to explain it right to you folks, but it's a bloody revenge story.
So is it kind of like a I Spit on Your Grave kind of thing?
Well, not exactly, because it's
without
that part, but
yeah.
It's a revenge against people that she trusted.
Gotcha.
I don't want to get very spoilery with it. I know that
is this an NSF whatever, or is it friendly to legally?
Well, I wouldn't say friendly, but I don't think there's any nudity in it or anything.
Okay.
It's been a while since I've read it. It's just the fact that we saw this drop the same time as my next book, and I remember really digging the first issue. So again, not the best way to tell people, hey, you should read this book. But if you're into Zenescope and that kind of really good Zenescope art and just a cool revenge story, a Squash Empress. Thank you, E. That is beautiful. Squash Empress. Awesome. So,
oh my god.
Oh, jeez. Oh, you guys are killing me. But in the best way. So the next one, folks, I've talked about this book and this creator a lot. Bobby Joe is getting a trade / hardcover. I've got 3 issues of this. I love this story. It's exactly what you think it is. It is a 7. I think the years. I think it's supposed to be 70s or 80s. I can't remember that part. But it feels like a grindhouse movie with this chick from the Appalachians hunting aliens. And it's a wild ride, y'all. It's a wild ride. Murder Mary kind of crosses over with this for just a panel or two. But it's a Scott Wilkie book, folks, and I think we've made it pretty well known how we feel about Scott Wilkie and Bad Bug on this channel. But it's been a while since I've read this one, folks, but I can tell you, if you just want just campy, schlocky, alien hunting fun with just, it feels like an exploitation film a little bit. And she's got a cute alien dog named Merle. Like, again, it's a fun book. It's hard to explain. I do have a review, I believe, of the first Bobby Joe somewhere on the channel. But like I said, this Kickstarter, you can go there. They have their different tiers you can get. But my goodness, this is such a fun one. Comes with a lot of cool cards, and yeah, like I said, there's some unboxing videos of this one on the channel. But Scott Wilkie, he's a Robert Kirkman for me. He just doesn't miss. So, hey, what's going on, Roberto? So now let me see. The next two I think I've already looked at. So now let's skip down to.
Yeah, I just backed it.
Awesome.
I have to. Luckily, it falls on my next paycheck. Thank God.
Sweet. So I'm gonna talk about this next one just real fast, and then we're gonna actually have Sean talk.
Oh my God.
The last book you'll ever read. I read this when it first came out.
That is such a good book.
I kind of fell off it. Don't know why, but saw it on Global Comics. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna read a little bit more of it.
That's the one that starts at a book signing,
yeah.
Right? Yeah, I love that book. That's a good read. Good call.
Yes, man. It's so this woman right here, very awesome, Roberto. This woman right here has written a book called Satyr that apparently when people read it, it feels like they become possessed and given to their baser instincts, including, orgies in a bookstore and just killing people and all kinds of craziness. They keep talking about something called the Wilding. And it's a Cullen Bunn book, y'all. Now, for a time, I felt like Cullen might have been writing so many books that he was stretched too thin. This is not one of those books where I felt he was stretched too thin. This is a solid story so far. I think it's like 6 or 8 issues. I'm only on number 4, so I still got a little ways to go. This is a very naughty book on the inside, folks. So this is don't read out in public, don't read in front of your kids. But it's a very good horror book. So just wanted to speak on that real quick because I recently just started picking this one up again. All right, the next one should be Sean if I did it right. Yes, there we go.
All right, yeah. Something's Killing the Children. Most folks that are in here have probably heard of this series, but for any that have not, or you just haven't checked it out, it's 100% worth it. I took a break from it after reading the first 20 issues. And when I say I took a break, it was probably like a 4 or 5 year break. Recently went back and read everything up to issue 43. And then I think they've already done 5 issues since. Hopefully I can get caught back up on those. But this is so good. In this universe, basically, monsters are real, but only kids can see them unless you're a member of the Order of St. George, which is a secret organization that hunts monsters and kills them, albeit at times through very nefarious means. But it is a great story. The main character, which is there on the cover, is Erica Slaughter. She's a bit of a rebel, but she watched her parents get killed as a kid by a monster, which is stuck in a magical stuffed octopus that she carries around with her everywhere. It's such a good story. The first arc, which is technically issues 1 through 20, but issues 1 through 15 are the actual really good part of it. Issues 16 through 20 are kind of a flashback and they really slow down. And then 20 through 30 something is the Cutter arc. And that is one of the craziest characters you will ever see in a comic. It is such a good read. Highly recommend this. You can buy a couple of them that you can get, like there's a book one that's kind of like an omnibus, or you can just get all the trades. So there's definitely many ways that you can kind of intake this and purchase it based on your budget.
Very cool. I've read a little bit of this. I think I made it to issue 24, 25. What year did
Sick Tick started 2018 or 2019?
Yeah, so it's been going on for a bit.
Because we were in our old apartment when Volume 1 came out.
That's right. Jenna was working at a comic shop. She brought home Volume 1, I believe.
Yep.
And you and her read it, and by the time I was going to get around to it, she had to take it back.
Yeah.
So it took me a while to get on it. And nope, I totally get that. There's a book on here that I'm going to talk about that, while I still really like it, I think it should have been another issue or two to flesh the story out more. Yeah, trust me, I totally got that. I got something like that later on the list.
2019 is when it started. So
2019.
And it's up to 51 issues at this point.
And issue 50 is the one they're doing the big 100 different cover blind bag thing for, I believe.
I might jump in on that just for the sake of it. There are other spin-off series as well. House of Slaughter. There's a cool thing that they did that's like a key that tells you all the different masks that are within the Order of St. George, stuff like that.
The Codex.
Yes, the Codex. Yeah. If y'all really want to follow a channel that is like, she is so into this series and you can really learn a lot, look up Sammy DeMonster. She's a huge fan of the series, been covering her for years. So if you want really good coverage and in-depth stuff on the series, she is the one to watch.
Her link should be in the description, but I'm going to post it here too because yes, 1000% agree with Sean on that.
Like she's moderated panels for this book.
She's awesome. She doesn't know who we are, but she's awesome.
Yeah.
Very good.
We know who we are. That's all that matters.
Exactly. Murder Podcast. Yeah, I think that was another Jeremy Hahn book, if I'm not mistaken.
I have heard of that book and I want to read it so bad.
Wait, that's the wrong title. Okay.
Meh, we're still going to read it.
We had at the beginning, like I said, we had Jeremy Hahn on the FLC show this past Friday, and he said something very interesting to me, or not to me, to us during the show, that while his books are only scheduled for 4 to 5, and that's the rest of the story, almost all his stories are connected in some way, shape, or form. So I thought that was really interesting because the folk of Dooney Hollow looks like it's going to be terrifying. So I'm really excited for that one. All right, so next one I got in my digital, haven't gotten in my physical copy yet. But this is Muscle Mommies from Mars. Holy crap! This is Garrett's new thing, Chaos Engine, with in cooperation with Bad Bug. This is Garrett through and through. There are scenes in this book where I was like, all right, Garrett, you really went there. Orgies. There's orgies in this one too. Those Not Afraid. And I love that book too, and I'm 1000% on board with you, Nope. There should have been more of that one. I think that was a Kyle Starks book too. But anyway, this you're on a planet that's the majority of the population is women. There are men there. Men are just there for snoo though. You have a kind of like a queen. She's called the Mother. And we open up the book with them. There's a tournament going on, like Coliseum, and it's these two just big muscular women fighting, and it's supposed to be a fight to the death unless somebody yields. So you got the queen watching it, and let me tell you about not being safe for work. The queen is sitting there watching, and you only see her from the waist up. And somebody comes in to ask her something, and her cheeks are kind of red. And you're like, what? She's like, hey, the girl coming in talking to Mother is like, there's something that you need to see. The council has been received this message. You have to see it. She's like, these are the games. They understand how important these are and how important it is for Mother to be here. It's like, yeah, but this is really, we got to go. She looks down in the next panel. She goes, okay, that's enough. And she's had a dude in her lap the whole time. So yeah, that kind of set the scene.
I got to read this one.
It set the scene, and then she's walking through, and again, just a big orgy, just walking through, and this message she finds out is from Earth, which that whole planet believes that Earthlings are worms, that we're beneath them, all that stuff. Well, there's somebody claiming that they're the greatest champion in all the universe, and the population of the planet has started receiving Earth television. And Mother is like, well, then why don't we just kill all the people that have been watching it? And somebody's like, but it's like 60% of our population that has started watching this champion. Come to find out, it's a wrestler. A really beefy, bulky, muscle mommy of a wrestler that is this character that's on the screen right here on the cover. And she has some fans that are trying to get an autograph. It's two brothers. Well, they can't push their way through the line, so one of the brothers like, I'm just going to sneak off into her locker room. Well, when he does that, the women from the other planet, from Mars, it's from Mars, it says right there, from Mars, show up to take this so-called champion, and they accidentally take the guy with them. And that's kind of where the book ends. But the funny thing, the parallels between the two is when we get to this character, she's walking through her locker room, and there's people doing bumps of stuff. And there's also a lot of fornicating going on in this wrestling backstage. This is
your buddy Garrett?
Yes. I love Garrett.
I think I'm going to like this guy.
Oh, Garrett is the man of a billion ideas, and all of them are freaking fantastic. This one's going to be out there, pure Garrett. Garrett has a book, y'all, called Murder Bukkake.
That guy.
Yes. Porn stars who die and come back to exact their vengeance. Like, the man has things you never would think to put in a comic book. That's Garrett's brain. And it is, like I said, all his stuff's fantastic. We talk about Garrett all the time. Garrett is a beautiful, big teddy bear of a human being. Such a kind soul. Love him to death. So, yeah, folks, if you get a chance, you can probably check out not right now, but in a few months, they might have it on their site. Bad Bug does pretty well at trying to keep their site updated for things. Like, it might take a while, but if not, this one I feel is so good that we're probably going to get a Kickstarter for issue 2 pretty soon. Did they die in the act or just die in general? Well, I haven't seen anybody actually die yet. Like, it's a fight to the death unless the other person yields. So there's only been like one battle or one little thing that's happened. So yeah, this one, again, I know it's a Kickstarter one, folks, but if you can find out from Garrett or Bad Bug if there's a way for you to grab a digital or physical copy of this, do it. Because I need somebody else to read this and just assure me that I'm not completely out of my mind.
Do they sell digitals?
Sometimes, like I said, it just depends. You got to check the site. Okay. Oh, and the other book by him, The Porn Stars. Oh man, Unknown. That's been a while since I've read it. I know that they were killed, but I can't remember if it was the act or if it was just random. I'm gonna have to reread that Unknown, and I will let you know because I have it sitting around here somewhere. I'm gonna have to reread that. I know that they're murdered. That's why they come back as like revenge things. But I can't remember if they were doing it when that happened or if it was just a random murder. But I'll find out for you. I'll reread that one. But yeah, this, folks, again, I will get into books that you can go buy from stores and stuff. But I had to talk about this because I got the digital for it the other day, and I read it, and I was like, I got to talk about this one on the show. I got another book in the physical copy that I talked about earlier this month, I believe, that I'll be doing an unboxing for soon. But so that was Muscle Mommies from Mars, folks. Check out Garrett Gunn. Check out Chaos Engine. Check out Bad Bug Media. Okay, there we go. On to the next. Stillwater.
Yes. Still wish I had gotten this book signed by Chip at Comicpalooza a couple years ago. This is a fun series. I think it went about 20 something issues. But essentially it's about a small town called Stillwater where as long as you're within the city limits, you cannot die. And so there's no telling really how old some of the people in the town are. I mean, they've got kids that really haven't aged. But yeah, and so what happens is, I forget the main character's name, but he gets a letter from his mother to come back to the town, and so he does, and it just unearths this kind of whole crazy mystery because the town is run by just this judge that basically has you've seen these small town stories where the judge has total and absolute power and runs it almost like martial law type thing, but it's so good. But to give you an example of like they can't die, as he's coming into the town, one of the kids just jumps off the top of a building, breaks his leg, and the nurse is just like, just look, kind of gives him that little bit of a slap on the wrist, like you know better. But it's a crazy story. Highly recommend reading this. There is a small side story that I haven't read yet, but definitely check out the whole main line. It gets really dark the later you get into the series. It's so fun.
All right, very cool. I remember reading the very first issue of this, and the ending of that, I was like, "Oh crap!"
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, great book.
Like one of the things that they do, if anybody becomes a big problem, is apparently if you go out of city limits or there's a certain spot you can go to, you can die, and that's essentially what they do. Is they'll bring people out and they execute them. So, like I said, it's a dark, really good story. It's one of my favorite, if not my favorite, Chip Zdarsky book. Ooh. Did I lose everybody?
No, you didn't. It's because I don't know how to unmute my mic.
No.
Now, I know that you didn't get this one signed by Chip, but I think he probably enjoyed the fact that you brought him Silver Coin.
Yeah, like everybody there was with Batman, Daredevil, and stuff like that. Yeah, and I put Silver Coin down in front of me, like, oh. So I was like, yeah, I wanted to bring something different. I could have gotten this signed. They would have been real nice about it. I was like, but in retrospect, I should have gotten this signed as well.
Yeah, I think Chip does a thing where if it's just a sign, like just a random, just his name, he charges for it. But if it's personalized, he doesn't.
Yes, that's basically what it was. But I'm not into the whole to so and so with a sign. I don't like that. So I'm like, I just want the signature. I'm good with that.
Right.
So
I got you. So speaking of a short series, but I think it still ended pretty well, I finished Nectar. What a fantastic book. Like, the fact that you made butterflies scary is insane. Very gory book.
It was a slow burn at first, but it was really good.
Yeah, it was a slow burn, and I am kind of good with that as long as there's a payoff. And this one definitely paid off because those following issues,
just
ramped it up.
I haven't got to see read the last one.
Oh my goodness, bro! It's crazy how the divine become the wicked. I'll tell you that. I'll tell you.
Oh, I don't care if you spoil stuff. I'll forget by tomorrow anyway.
Well, it's just in case anybody else who hadn't read it yet. I don't want to spoil it for them, but it really shows you that, especially in those days, the good people weren't always good. The ones that are supposed to be the good and the righteous aren't always the good and the righteous.
You got that right.
So, yeah, fantastic book, folks. If you haven't checked it out, I know that there are some folks that didn't like it. They thought it was dumb because it's dancing and butterflies. This book is, I will tell you it's great, but I will also tell you, read it for yourself, form your own opinion. This could be something that if you listen to a reviewer who you trust, and there's plenty of them out there that I trust, but I disagreed with them when it came to this book. I thought this was fantastic. So do yourself a favor, check out Nectar. I'm hoping that there's going to be more. I think there is. It does kind of end, but the end leaves it open. So if this is all we get, then that's all we get. But if they decide to go on with it, they didn't paint themselves into a corner. So this.
Well, you all know how much I love horror, and I was into it. So yeah, give it a try.
Yeah. So this next one is one I've also wanted to read for a long time, and eventually I'm going to get to it. This one is Middle West from Scotty Young and Jorge Corona, I believe.
Such a good series.
I've never heard of this one.
Middle West? Oh, it's so good, bro. It is so good.
Did we lose Jay?
No, this was Sean's pick.
Yeah.
Oh, nobody was talking. I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, I didn't know either. I didn't know if we were both talking about this. That's why I haven't said much. But the main character's name is Abel. It basically starts around like a violent storm levels his town, and you basically follow Abel, and he's got like a companion with him. It's a fox. But I'm trying to remember. It's been so long since I've read it, and I apologize, folks. I picked a list of books that I haven't read in a while. But he's essentially, I think he's a wizard, if I remember right. Fuck. Yeah. Unfortunately, you're gonna have to skip over this one, Jay, because I don't remember it.
Okay, but it's a Scotty Young book, folks, and it's written by Scotty Young. And I've said this a billion times. People should get sick of it, but too bad. As much as I love Scotty as an artist, I love his writing that much more. Scotty's a fantastic writer. I have not even read this. No, I didn't read this yet. Sean read it, but it was a while back when Sean read it.
Unfortunately.
That's okay. It happens, folks. It happens. There's going to be plenty of stuff on here that I probably forgot too. But if anybody has read Middle West, let us know in the comments what you thought about it. We'll move on to the next one. I don't think I finished this. I think there's one more issue. I am so shocked that nobody else really talks about this one. This has been bloody, gory, disgusting, and a good story. But I don't know. It just feels like I'm the only one that likes it. So everything I thought about this book was wrong by the time I get to this issue. And it's not really spoilers, but I'm going to tell you what I thought was going to happen was the tropey split personality. Until somebody else saw Luther, which is this dude with the knife hands. But there's much more to this character of Luther than just a demon. And when you find that out, they really do a mind screw on you with this book about what happens. So I'm not going to get too much farther than that. Just know there's a lot of death, a lot of murder, a lot of literal and figurative backstabbing. Again, I don't know why more people haven't hopped on this one. I know the first issue was very short. That's one of the criticisms I heard, was the first issue was really short. This might be one that I would tell you, wait until it's done and just read it all at once. There are some books that do better that way, in my opinion. For me, every issue's been a banger. Yeah, this is just, again, it's one of those, how are people not talking about this book? It does a little bit. It does a little bit, especially with this cover. The character is gnarly looking, though. It really is. Luther is a gnarly looking character. Kind of like Edward Scissorhands, except they're knife fingers. And again, folks, give this one a shot if you're a horror or mystery fan. Psychological horror, real like horror, because it kind of had me guessing, and then when it showed what it actually is, I was like, oh, because there's clues throughout the book, but it doesn't tell you, like, it doesn't spoon feed it to you. But Pretty Hate Machine from Mad Cave. Again, I think it's a fantastic book. I'm hoping that maybe once it's wrapped up, more people will give it a shot and be like, wow, how did I miss out on this one? That's just me, though. Let's see. Next one we got on here, Mr. Easter.
I love Kit Wallace. This is literally all, it's written, drawn, colored, lettered by Kit Wallace. And if you're a fan of High on Life, the game series and the book, this is a book that is just as batshit crazy as that. Mr. Easta is a bounty hunter, and he's got like a parasite in one of his hands that basically he can create weapons as he pleases, and he comes up with some really cool guns throughout this. But it's just a crazy tale about him bounty hunting, and then someone's basically trying to kill him, and it's just, the whole book looks like what you see on the cover. Don't take it seriously, just sit in there, have a good time reading it, laugh your ass off. It's Kit at his best. The more out there he gets with his concepts, the better he writes and draws, in my opinion. So this is one of those. You can still find it. I think you can still get it on Scout site, but Kit, I believe, also was able to get the rights back to this. So there's more coming, and I'm extremely excited about that as well. It'll be coming on the Comic Soup imprint that we mentioned at the top of the show.
Very, very cool. You know, hearing you talk about that reminds me of Jump Scare. I hadn't talked about that book in a long time.
Oh, I love that book.
Still waiting for a sequel. Hadn't been announced. It kind of been announced, but hadn't been officially announced. But in that one, she got a power from a god, and so she's a horror movie fan. She can any horror movie she's seen, she can make a weapon, or she can have.
Oh yeah, that's a good book.
Yes,
it's such a great book.
Yes, 100%. That was a Nope told me about it book, even though he heard it from somebody else. Nope's the one who told me about it, so I'm giving Nope the credit. All right, so here's the book I was talking about that I felt just needed a couple more issues. Narco. Big fan of this. This, again, was kind of a slow burn one. Around the third issue, I kind of figured out what was going on, but even still, I kind of needed a little more. I'm a big fan of Doug Wagner. Thanks to Miss Jen. Miss Jen was, telling me about the vinyl plush plastic universe a long time ago. We've had Doug Wagner on the experience a few times. That whole I drank this world up, like all the books. I was a fashion school serial killer. I'm in the middle of that one. That one's really good. They all connect. This one I felt needed another issue or two because this fifth issue, no spoilers, just wraps it up kind of too fast. And that's all I'll say about this one. That doesn't mean by any means that I didn't like the book, because I really did. I thought it was a very awesome concept, very cool murder mystery. I just needed a little bit more. Folks, if you haven't tried this one, please do. don't let it, please, don't feel like I'm saying that this book was terrible by any means. I just personally, for somebody else, this might have, nope, this wrapped up perfectly. Me personally, I needed another issue or two for them to flesh out some other things. I don't know if this is just these 5 issues and it's over, or if Doug has any plans on doing anything else with it. Surely, though, knowing Doug, you will see this character in another one of his books, or there'll be some kind of Easter egg, because Doug likes to do that a lot with his little world that he's built. If you've never read any Doug Wagner stuff, folks, there's 2 different plastic series. There's vinyl, there's plush, there's I Was a Fashion School Serial Killer. There might be another one I'm forgetting about. But overall, I had a really good time with this book. I just wish it was a little longer. So if you haven't checked out Narco, folks, please do. This is about a guy who, when he gets a little overexcited or panicky, if his heart rate goes up too high, he passes out. And when the girl of his dreams comes over for a date, she gets attacked in front of his door. And before he can do anything about it, he passes out and he gets blamed for her murder. So that's the general consensus. The rest of it is him trying to figure out who done it. Again, great book. I just need a little more. Oh, this next one. I have only read 1 issue of this, but this is Sean's jam right here.
Ah, yes. All right, folks. What you're seeing on the cover is the Army of Hell and a lone dude in a mech suit who is known as Wrath. This basically follows a group of people who are trying to get to a big city while surviving the armies of hell who have risen up and all but wiped out humanity. And their only savior is this gentleman in a mech suit who goes by the name of Wrath. The art, the story is so good. The ending, I will say, did feel a little rushed, but the art is exactly like you see on the cover. The coolest part about this is you never actually got to see the full extent of the suit's capabilities. Every single issue, something new would be done with this suit. He'd come out with a sword. Another time he'd have guns. Next issue, he had spider legs out of nowhere. I mean, literally, it just felt like the suit's powers were endless. And he is linked to one of the characters in the group that they are following. I'm not going to say who, and I'm not going to say how, even though it really becomes pretty apparent about the moment they say it, but neither here nor there. I love this series. It has been one of my favorite reads for just like a fun sci-fi kind of, mech thing. So if that is your jam, like me and Nope both have loved this. It is 100% recommended you buy it. It is on Bad Bug's site. I hope they do a trade just so I can get the trade, even though I have all the issues. But I like trade paperbacks as well. So good. I can't recommend this book enough. This is, when it comes to Bad Bug, this is one of the first books I'll recommend to folks, outside of anything Scott Wilkie. Mike Tiener doesn't write a ton anymore, but the few things that he has written like this are fucking phenomenal.
Hashtag Tiener's not a wiener. All right, so here's the part of the show where it gets kind of crazy. So Sean had a lot of books, and I had a lot of books. So I have some of them on the slides, and then I made Sean a slide deck for his. But the rest of mine, I'm going to show off because I got the physical things right here. So I'm going to do that real quick.
It's because Jay's sitting here making everybody look bad, but I did my homework and I pulled out of my shit.
Yes, Jay did the homework but didn't tell anybody else to do it, so he can't blame anybody.
Yep, I blame you, Jay.
That's why I'm awful quiet tonight. I didn't know the topic.
Yeah, that's nobody's fault but mine. So this first thing I'm going to do before we get to Sean's books is it's going to be Sean. Do you know that answer?
Yeah, go ahead and talk. I'll answer him via.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is going to be kind of a stuff you should read, plus show off from my shipment I got in from Third Eye. Shout out to Third Eye. Great shop. We love ordering from them. They are in Maryland. In the Maryland area, I believe.
Okay, there we go.
Pretty sure it's somewhere because they have different ones in like Annapolis or
Annapolis, Baltimore, a few different cities. Yeah, they're huge.
Yeah. But again, great shop. Always ships great. Like the packaging is great. So I'm going to show you what I got. Now, I haven't read this yet, but first thing we got, Marvel Team Up. This is the Eric Larson cover. Marvel Team Up number 14 facsimile. Spider-Man meets Invincible. I cannot wait to read this. I have never read this, but I saw they had. Oh, Alberto. I'm sorry, Roberto. Roberto, that's awesome, man. I got too many. There's too many people. I still.
That was awesome.
Yeah. Well, I talked to Roberto on here and on when I was on Omri's show, and then of course we have Alberto on the art show in the chat. So I apologize for that, man. But yeah, I saw this and I was like, you know what? I've never read this. I love both these characters. I am definitely an Invincible shill. So I had to get this facsimile. Can't wait to read it. This one I did read the whole series for. Skinbreaker. Skinbreaker number 1. This one, if for nothing else, even if you're not a fan of the story in it, just the David Finch art alone is worth it. So this is about this tribe that when they're born, they're covered in this. It's a skin. But you're like, yeah, I bet. So does mine. And a certain time of the year, they're taken out into the sun, and when their skin breaks, it's like a little, like their own little. Oh my goodness, I can't. It's a transformation, but I can't remember what the name is.
Metamorphosis.
There you go. Thank you. And it's basically the thing is this story tripped me out because we start at one point in time. You think that's what the story's going to be about, but it's not. Like it follows characters, but the story doesn't stay in the same place. But highly recommend. It is a Robert Kirkman book, which I have a couple here. Fantastic series, folks. Like this could be another world of Robert Kirkman's if he wanted it to be. You know, if he decides to leave it here, he's going to leave it here. But I'm telling you, fantastic series, especially if you're a Kirkman fan. Next up, Deathstroke Terminator. Pun fully intended. DC stuff has been next level or absolutely awesome. And this Deathstroke by Tony Fleece, let's go. Tony is on a list of people that when I see his name on a book, I'm going to read it. And this Deathstroke is one of the. I've read a couple of Deathstroke books before. This is one of my favorite ones I've read. This is the story of Deathstroke basically having his. Well, I'm going to say they're friends. But his friend, Billy Wintergreen, is killed. Spoiler alert for the first issue. And next thing you know, Deathstroke doesn't have any of his money. All his safe houses have been broken into. So he fights some pretty awesome villains. And not just nameless ones, some pretty big ones from other people's, rogues galleries. This is a fantastic book. Once this is out in trade, or once I can get the trade, I'm definitely getting the trade for it. Let me skip these two because I really want to talk about this one. Then we'll get back to Sean. I got a couple more books, but I'm gonna stop at this one and let Sean do a couple of his. So I've been singing the praises of Greatest American Hero. Literally, I sang the theme song with Miss Jen on Tuesday. So that free comic book day of Greatest American Hero was just everything I wanted to be and more. And I said this a lot too. I'm mostly an A cover person. Like most of these covers, if they're not A covers, it's just because Third Eye didn't have them. But this and one other book that I'll get to later are the reason I made this order. There was an homage cover I had to have. It was an homage to Action Comics number 1. And I was like, Greatest American Hero, Action Comics number 1, I got to get it. So I did. And that's why I just now recently got this package in, because it was waiting for this one to come out. So Tuesday, when Miss Jen was talking about it, I had said something about, yeah, you know what cover I got? And she guessed it, of course. She goes, yeah, you might not be getting it, because that day there was an email sent out that there was an error on the cover. Now, when I looked at the cover again, I was like, oh, there's 4 wheels on the car still, but still a wheel bouncing off, like, you know, the original cover for Action Comics. I was like, that's not too bad. Well, fortunately for me, my stuff was sent out before that email came out, so I got the error cover. The tires, that's not the error. I'm going to hold this up as close as I can, so see if you can see it. There's a cape on the back of the car. And for most people's best guesses, what happened was the cover artist was using this as a color reference to the cape that's down here and forgot to clip it back out. So I got lucky, I guess, and got this. I mean, I still love it. I don't know if I'm going to buy the regular copy again, just to have the normal cover. But I just thought
you might want to send that one to CGC.
Yeah, because you might be one of the few people that actually got it before all that happened, so it might be worth it. Well, you get it graded, then yeah, I know you don't care, but it's like that thing could be worth a fortune.
I think it's cool, but like I'm struggling with. Actually, you know, of course I'm going to keep this. I'm not saying that, but like, do I want to rebuy this to get the normal cover, or do I just want to get a different, like the David Mack cover or something like that? I haven't decided yet, but anyway, I had to get it because, I mean, I'm a Superman fan. I love this show. No, it does not hold up, but it feels like being wrapped in a warm hug of nostalgia, okay? I can still watch this show. I love it. Hey, what's up, Stu? But yeah, like I said, when I first saw it, I was like, why is there a cape on the back of the car? So that's super awesome. But anyway, I know I've shown the cover off, but basically this is a story of a older Ralph. Ralph is looking for his son. His son has kind of turned into a shisty person. He goes to thrift shops and whatnot, and Unknown got one too. Nice. And like gets this junk and then resells it to people saying, "Oh, this was owned by Tiger Woods," or JFK was holding this when he was in the car, or something like that. And you know, Ralph is kind of also having, because he's older, he's having trouble with the suit. And there's a awesome panel in the Free Comic Book Day 1, if you grabbed it, folks, that just shows Ralph and all his young glory in the suit. Again, it's not a great show, but it's a show that just always makes me feel good every time I watch it. I think it's on Tubi or Roku channel or even on Prime. Like I said, it doesn't really hold up, but it's so heartwarming and just so good. Like, I love it. And the fact that AMP has made a comic out of it, they're my heroes right now. I love this book. I love this character. So I'm excited to see where he goes from here. I have not cracked this one open yet to read it. I heard it's a little bit different than the Free Comic Book Day 1. But I love that Free Comic Book Day 1 so much.
I loved that show so much when I was a kid. Remember how I told you we had those paint markers that I did that Headless Horseman thing with my sister?
Mm-hmm.
I had a red T-shirt and I drew the little symbol on there with the paint marker so I could wear it to school.
Very nice.
That's pretty nerdy, but I've always embraced my nerdness.
Yeah. Hey, real
I used
quick,
to get slapped for embracing my nerd.
Hey, real quick, since Stu, who his link is down there in the comments right there. Make sure you check him out. He does a show with E from 9 Panel Grid and also Nick from Comic Culture sometimes called Ink and Insights. Make sure you check that out. If you guys were I don't mean to, but I like putting folks that we watch, I like putting their YouTube links in the description. And sometimes that accidentally tags them. So I apologize for that part. I wasn't trying to tag y'all, just so you know. I just wanted to have your links in the description of the video. I mean, not that I don't think either one of y'all care anyway, but I just want to let you know. Wasn't purposely trying to tag you to have you come on or anything. Oh, absolutely, Stu. Love you, man. Love watching your channel. Love watching y'all's stuff. Always awesome to see you. All right, Sean. We're getting into the slide deck of your stuff. Then I'll come back and get some of my books. We'll do 2 or 3 years, and we'll hop back. You ready?
Yep. All right. Chariot. This is a very cool kind of retro synthwave in feel with how the art is throughout the entire book. Essentially what it is you see a secret agent in the car that's on the cover, and then that's the secret agent woman that's right there. She's in a chase with a helicopter and ends up having to drive off a cliff into the ocean. And you would think that she dies, but she doesn't. The main character, who is the gentleman on the cover, works at a junkyard where this car ends up being brought into. And essentially what happened is her consciousness got, essentially for all intents and purposes, molded or whatever, bonded with the car. I guess that's a good word to use. And there is I believe it ends up being her sister or something like that, who's a baddie. They're trying to look and find this car because there's a certain kind of technology, which is what allowed her to basically get bonded to it, that they want. And it is a very, very kind of cool, deep story. It's much more than action. There's also a lot of emotional family elements to it. But it's a super cool story. I want to say that AWA said that this has been optioned to become, I think it's a live action film. It's been a while since I had that discussion with them about it. But they were actually eagerly awaiting, and I never did it, and I need to. They were curious to see who I'd cast to play the characters in this, which, for spoilers, the main character, I chose Wes Bentley, who most recently most people will remember as Jamie from Yellowstone, and Charlize Theron as the secret agent, because Charlize Theron's just awesome, gorgeous, and great in everything she does. But I haven't got beyond that, but those are the two main characters I have done. But if you kind of like that retro 80s, synthwave kind of look, TV shows, books, comics, whatever, this is a book visually that will be extremely appealing with a really, really, really good story.
Wes Bentley was also in Ed's favorite Ghost Rider movie.
Ah, okay.
Really?
Yeah, he played whoever the Devil's Son was. I can't remember.
Oh God, I hated that character so bad.
Oh, Sam
Yeah,
Elliott.
you hooked me on that one, sir.
Yeah, Sam Elliott made that movie for me.
Oh yeah. Well, having the original Ghost Rider on there is cool too. I got that whole run. Did I ever tell you that?
No.
Of the original? Yeah, I got the whole run.
Nice.
Took me 30 some years to get it, but
hey, man.
Thankfully, I started collecting before they took off, so a bunch of them, believe it or not, I got out of dollar bins.
Oh, yeah. Like, Stu, Sean told me about this book so many times, and I love AWA stuff. This is just one of those that I don't know why I haven't read it yet, but I'm definitely interested to read it. Let's see what you got next. There we go.
So, in my opinion, this out of the little bit I have read of TMNT, this is the best story that has ever been told in the comics, in my opinion. Spoiler alert, that's Michelangelo on the cover. He is the last remaining turtle. And it basically just kind of follows his journey in as he comes back to New York after being away for a while when his brothers died. And he is fighting Shredder's son, who the name escapes me at the moment, but it's a badass series. The art is so good and much more geared towards mature crowds. I bet kids have probably read it, but teen plus. So much, but this has been so well received that we're going to get a movie of this, and I hope to God that what they do is it's a continuation from the 1990s Turtles movies. They literally use, I don't want the CG. Give me the suits, the practical effects, everything. That's what I hope this becomes. There is a follow-up to this. I forget what it's called, and they're actually fixing to come out with a third one. But 100% you need to read this. I love the Turtles cartoons and movies as a kid. Spoiler alert, the TMNT movie for me is probably my favorite comic book movie of all time. The original two from 90 and 91 or 2. That's why I want this to basically just be a continuation from that universe so bad. But you have to check this out. Producer Kyle from The Experience is probably the biggest TMNT fan I know. And
next to Nope.
Oh, next to Nope. Okay. Nope. Don't break my heart like that, dude. Don't tell me that. I'm about to quit. I'm serious. Anyway, but they're like, I couldn't find a TMNT book outside of stuff that they would get crossed over with, but their own stories were, for whatever reason, bored me. The Armageddon game one was so fucking boring up until maybe the last 3 issues, but then this came along and it just rocked and it was awesome. So this, in my opinion, if you're going to read a TMNT story, read this. You don't have to have any prior knowledge of the Turtles. Just read this and you will fucking love it. I guarantee it.
Yeah, gotta agree with you on this one, Sean. Outside of some, when I was younger, I would get comics that came with tapes that you could play the tape and it would do the voices and stuff while you read along with the comic. I loved it. Yeah, this one though, we got the PDF of the entire thing for in stores this week, a long time ago. And in stores this week was where we were given books, we read them, we critiqued them. There was 3 or 4 of us on it, and me being the slowest one because I got to take notes on everything. Because if I don't, I forget everything. I ended up reading the whole thing. I couldn't stop. So the other books I kind of was like a minute to skim at them, but this one I read the whole thing. I loved it. I loved it so much, and I was very sad when I heard that they shelved this to do a different project. But hopefully there's still something out there. Batman and Ninja Turtles, I believe, was Sean's first comic.
Batman TMNT, the Tynan run.
Yep. And the Ninja Turtles movie was the second movie I saw in theaters. First being Crocodile Dundee. So.
Oh, what a good first movie!
Exactly.
The first movie I can remember seeing in theaters was Batman '89, and then it was the Turtles movie. And I was lying on the floor of the theater with my cousin, watching the movie on the very front row from an angle.
Did either one of you two get to experience the drive-in, or was that before you?
No, they still have drive-ins. I've just never been to one.
Yeah, I haven't been to one, but there's one about an hour from us.
My first indoor movie, because we used to do the hop in the station wagon and hide under blankets, sneak to the drive-thru to pay half price kind of thing, because we were a big family. And the first indoor theater movie I ever saw, and I'll never forget it, was Popeye with Robin Williams. That'll always stand out. Whenever I watch that movie, I remember that day of being amazed that you could go into a building to watch a movie.
I love that movie.
Oh, me too. It gets so much hate, and
It does.
it shouldn't. It even got hate when it was released.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, for 1979 or whenever the heck it was a while ago, those prosthetic arms and legs didn't look bad. The only thing I wish is that he just shaved his head instead of being a redhead or whatever. But who cares? Was it bleach blonde? I can't remember. It's been a while since I saw it. Yeah. But I knew it wasn't his hair color. But I love that movie. I just wish there'd have been a little bit more of like the Sea Hag and a little bit more with fighting Bluto or whatever. Yeah. But I can sit down and watch that movie tonight if I wanted to. It gives me the feels.
Yeah, it's so good. It's one of those movies like Howard the Duck that gets hate for no reason.
Oh yeah. Yep.
All right, let's see what we got next, and then I'll go back to me. We got come on, God Country. Let's go.
Yes. Mm-hmm. This was up until a book that we will be talking about later in this show. This was my number one book that I had read for years. And the interesting thing about this one is when I first started reading, Jay will attest to this, I was a snob when it came to art. If I didn't like the art as I was looking through the book, I would not buy it. But for whatever reason, I read the back of this, skimmed the cover on it, and just was interested. And so I bought it, and it ended up being, to this day for me, still one of the top 3 best comics I've ever read. It follows a family in a rural Texas town. The main character that you see holding the sword on the cover is Emmett Quinlan. He has dementia, very kind of advanced. He gets violent with it and has fits and can be physically abusive. A tornado comes through their town, and next thing you know, there's this giant sword left in their front yard. But while he's holding this sword, he's completely normal. He has no more dementia. He's his normal self. He gets to enjoy his family, his granddaughter. And what we learn is that the tornado wasn't actually just a tornado. It ends up being a portal from another dimension. And the sword basically was dropped off, and the owners come looking for it. Let me look up. I'm trying to remember the name of the sword. The sword talks. And it's a great, great story, about family sacrifice and all that, and just how to be a hero. It's one of my favorite books ever. Highly recommend this for anybody. Even if it's not your jam, I would actually recommend it. I just think it might win people over. So,
all right.
I'm trying to find the dang sword's name. Give me one second.
Halifax?
Is it Valifax?
Valifax.
It starts with a V.
I was like, Halifax, man.
And Valifax is so cool that if you guys ever read another series by Image called Crossover, where they literally take characters from all over the comic universe, not just Image, Valifax is in that too. So Valifax is kind of an important thing.
Yeah, I'm hoping he's doing well. Little story before I get on with my next book. So a couple years ago, Jenna and I went to Dallas Fan Expo, and we brought a ton of his stuff because he was going to be there. That was the same time that he had his car accident. Like the day we were going to go see him, his booth was up, but he wasn't there. And it was like a week later when I think Nick was talking about it on the art show. I had no idea that the man had been in a very bad car accident. So hopefully he's doing better. I hope for one day, he's able to come back. unless he's got something in the works that I haven't heard of. But Donnie Cates a fantastic writer. God Country is such a great book. So, wishing him well. He'll never see this, but still wishing him well. And hopefully one day he can come back. All right, so let me get to these 3 books. A book I never thought I would be super into. I knew I would like it, but it's another next level book. The Fury of Firestorm, y'all. Like, this is the Ronnie Raymond version. Now, I didn't know a ton about Firestorm until the Flash TV show, where Robbie Amell, Stephen Amell's cousin, played Ronnie Raymond. And I dug the character then. We got to see the Jason Rush version for a second. And then they ended with the, I think Jefferson was the last one's name. I think so. But he was a cool character in the show. And then we get to a Jeff, and I always feel like I'm pronouncing it wrong. It's either Lemire or Lemire, written Firestorm. This first issue is a banger, y'all. It's basically him being trapped inside his own mind with somebody else kind of piloting, and they take over this town, and one day they decide, I want everything to be made out of glass. And then another time they want people to be this. And it's just, I haven't read past issue 2, but even if you've never read a Firestorm book before, you won't be lost with this. This is just a fantastic series. And for me personally, for my money, DC right now is firing on all cylinders. Outside of the kind of rocky movie/TV universe, in some people's opinions, their comics are crushing. Like, the Absolute line is just bonkers. Absolute Batman is up to like issue 22 or 23, and all the previous issues have at least second and third prints. Your earlier ones have even more. The next level stuff has been just that, next level. More coming. Jonah Hex, Demon, we talked about that last week. I'm excited. Like, don't get me wrong, Marvel's got a few new titles that I'm really digging, and I've talked about those before. The Cap Run, the Punisher stuff, Iron Man. There's a few of them that are kind of scratching the itch when it comes to Marvel, but DC right now, for my money, crushing it. Like, going outside of DC, The $1 Trillion Kid. It is a fantastic book. It reminds me of Richie Rich, but there's some elements of Richie Rich missing. So this kid, his family had invented Band-Aids or something, and they were rich, and they were kind of starting to lose some money, though. Some things weren't going well for them. Well, the kid invents an ouchless Band-Aid, and that formula for the adhesive, I guess, starts going around the world, and he's the first kid trillionaire. He tries to do the right thing. He tries to do what he thinks is good for people. He learns very early on, though, that money can't buy you friendship, at least real friends. Because there's people he tries to do these nice things for, but they're not having it. Like, yeah, the kid has a roller coaster, go through his neighborhood to pick up kids, take them to school. And one of the kids is like, I just don't like roller coasters. You know, at this point, you know, he's going to learn that lesson a little more, that money can really not get you everything, like some people say. But it's a story about family. There's a gut punch in this first issue. When it gets to that point, or when it gets to the part of the issue, when I read it, I just was like, oh, man, it really makes you feel for the kid. This kid could easily be a new villain. He could easily be a douchey rich kid, but he's not. He's got it. He's got the best of intentions, and again, this is another part of the Ghost Machine stuff. Fantastic. I haven't read any other part of the Unbelievables because this one is part 1 of 4 of the Unbelievables, but this ties into the bigger Ghost Machine universe. Highly, highly recommend. Kind of comes right under my favorite. Yeah, I know. I think a lot of people missed out on it. Nope, but it's really good. Not exactly my favorite one. Redcoat still holds that honor. Redcoat, as much as I love the art and the story of Rook, I haven't really read too much Geiger. Redcoat is my favorite one. That's the one they're starting their movie world with too. Can't wait till we get more info on that. So last book that I got in from Third Eye, I knew I was getting this book the minute I saw it on League. I was looking through comics coming up in the future. It's a Robert Kirkman book. I'm pretty sure a lot of people can guess what it is. Terminal. I love this book, y'all. Invincible shill through and through. I am Robert Kirkman shill through and through. This is 90s image goodness with a modern twist and a story that just kicked me in the balls of my heart when I read it. I thought I had something figured out. I got to the end of this book, kind of broke my heart when what happened. Again, I'll put in a link for Henri's channel. Henri was gracious enough to have me on his show with him this past Sunday while he was talking books, and I hadn't read anything, but he had me on the show, and when he brought this one up, I had already read it. I had to talk about it. This is my pick of the week. This is one of, like, just for me personally, one of the best things that I've read in a while. I cannot wait to see how this goes. The blind bag for this one, if there are any left, I might actually think about getting one. If there's any left, I doubt there will be, but I got to be careful because Matthias Lewis of Order Up the FOC show on Fridays on the EXP, he had gotten a blind bag, and I think he said he got like issue 7 or 10. So we know there's at least 10 issues of this series, but some of the blind bags will have like an issue 7 or an issue 10. And he goes, well, it's really good, but it kind of ruined. He goes, I probably shouldn't have read it. And I was like, well, that happens. But this is another series that people are kind of on the fence with, it feels like. Most reviews I've seen have either been they loved it or it was terrible. I'm not in the camp of terrible. I think Terminal is a fantastic book. No clue where it's going. And it just, again, it's a Kirkman book, y'all, and I'm always going to be down for Kirkman. So that was all the stuff I got from Third Eye in my order. I only make an order like this every couple of months, but always fun to have. Always fun to get an order in because sometimes, knowing me, I forgot what I was getting in, so it's like a little Christmas surprise for me. So with that being said, with that being done, let me go ahead and switch back to and let's talk about Pestilence.
All right. So the backstory to why I read this book. Right around the time COVID hit, actually. I was at the point where I was getting a little burned out on reading hero comics and was never the biggest horror movie person, but Jenna was just like, you just need to read horror comics. So she basically every week she would start giving me a stack of trades from their collection. And this happened to be the first horror book I ever read. And I still love it to this day. This book is essentially about the Black Plague, but it is a very different telling of it because it turns out that the Black Plague wasn't just a disease that killed people. It was like an old zombie apocalypse. And it was sent down, or if I remember right, it's basically the Knights of Templar investigating what the cause of this was, and you kind of learn, I believe, that the Pope was the devil or something like that. I could be way off on it, but it was such a good read and a very kind of cool. It has some historical content to it, but with a nice twist. Art's amazing. They did do like a follow-up story that I think I read, but it wasn't near as good as this original one. But it's just such a fun read. So definitely check it out.
I love the fact, and I'm probably one of maybe 4 people that will get this reference, that one of the people working on this book, his name is Marshall Dillon. Again, I might be the only person who gets the Marshall Dillon reference, but that's just me. I love it. All right, so let's see what we got up for your next one. Roseblood Manor.
All right. This is a horror anthology from Bad Bug Media. I will definitely say, to me at least, issue 1, kind of like the Spider-Man Tom Holland movies, issue 1 is the weakest. Still worth the read, but if you can get to issues 2 onward, the short stories in it are amazing. The one that I can remember from issue 1 was from Alan and Will Radford. It's about a guy who brings someone a painting, if I remember right, and the person who bought it ends up getting sucked into the painting. So, but the thing itself is about a manor that is haunted, and the hostess, who's the person on the cover, basically punishes people for just being pieces of shit. Is a good way to put it. Each book has short stories, but there's always an underlining arc that goes through the whole thing that connects each one, which Scott Wilkie was brilliant in how he did that in every issue. That's because it's Scott. He can do no wrong. So if you like horror anthologies and whatnot, this is a really, really good series to jump into the Bad Bug universe with and read.
Yep. This is another one that I can't believe I've, other than the story of the painter or the painting, I can't remember what the exact name is. I haven't read too much.
Yeah, I can't remember the name of it, but yeah, it's Alan and Will. Alan and Will did a story for issues 1 and 2, if I remember right. But their story in issue 1 was the best one.
Awesome. So, popping back to this one. Oh, I pulled out some of the big kid books. Spider-Verse. Big old honking thing right here. So, this book, if you enjoy the Sony Into the Spider-Verse, Across the Spider-Verse movies, they're kind of loosely based on this, and I say loosely because in this one, Peter is the main character. But this is, and I'll just read the back to you a little bit. One of the deadliest foes Spidey ever faced is back, but this time he isn't alone. Morlun of the Spider Slayers, or Spider Hunters, I think is what they're called. Spider Hunters. No, that's not what they're called either. Wow, Jay can't read, y'all. Sorry. The Inheritors is what they're called. They're rampaging across the multiverse, feeding on the life forces of arachnid-powered superhumans. So this is them basically multiverse hopping, taking out a ton of spider people. Absolutely, Lyle. Absolutely. Love having you in the chat. Love having you on the EXP. And the fact you have a channel, you're doing something that I don't think a lot of people are doing, is fantastic. I don't think anybody is talking about the comic stuff you are. What's it? Yeah, that Kevin Smith. I have that trade out there. I didn't bring it for my list tonight, but the Kevin Smith Green Arrow run is fantastic. But this one right here, folks, this one introduces so many spider people. And this right here collects Amazing Spider-Man 7 through 15, Superior Spider-Man 32 and 33, Spider-Verse 1 and 2, Spider-Verse Team Up 1 through 3, Scarlet Spiders 1 through 3, Spider-Woman 1 through 4, Spider-Man 2099 5 through 8, and material from Free Comic Book Day 2014, Guardians of the Galaxy #1. A lot of stuff in here. It's been a while since I've read this, folks, but my goodness. There's a reason stories like this get adapted. Stories like Civil War and my next book that I'm going to show real fast as well get adapted because they are fantastic. Now, it's kind of one of those things where I can't say I enjoy the movie or the book over the other, like one over the other, because they are very different, but I do love them both. This next one I know this one kind of made me mad. I'm going to be honest with you. Because they made a show of this. Secret Invasion. Folks, do the Grow Run. I knew what you meant, Lorena. The show that they put on Disney Plus was not, in my opinion, they should have followed more closely to this. This is basically where you find out that Skrulls have been around for a long time. Some of your favorite heroes for a while have actually been Skrulls. And it's just a really exciting, like, people you think are Skrulls aren't, people that you don't think are Skrulls are. It's very twisty-turny. And this right here collects Secret Invasion 1 through 8. Yeah, that's all this one. This is just the Secret Invasion stuff. My goodness, what a fantastic story. Like, this and Marvel Zombies are two of my favorite stories that, like, they're main universe, but not really, if that makes any sense. But this is fantastic. If you've never read Secret Invasion, please. I mean, if you enjoyed the show, I'm very happy for you. Do not get me wrong. I'm glad if you enjoyed the show, I'm glad you enjoyed it. But if you've never read the comic before, please read the comic. That might change your opinion on the show. It might not. Who knows? But this is a fantastic read. Secret Invasion, folks. Brian Michael Bendis on that one. All right, I'm going to show one more, and then we'll get back to Sean's list. Keeping with my Kirkman Schilling theme, Die, Die, Die. This was a surprise. This was one of those books that Kirkman used to randomly drop stories without, like, a lot of fanfare. Sometimes without even really, like, announcing them. And that's what Die, Die, Die was. Saw it in the comic shop one day, picked it up. Basically about a set of triplets, and they're all kind of spies, and one of them is kidnapped, and one of them is kind of evil. Again, twisty-turny triplet stuff. Very, very violent. Very violent. Very fun story. And again, it's Kirkman. So if you're a fan of Kirkman, this is kind of a must read. Very violent, very funny. I need to reread this one. It's been a while. But yeah, so there's Die, Die, Die. All right, we click back over here to Sean. And let's see the next one we were talking about. Yeah.
This is the freshest book because it's the last one that I really read. Folks, this is the most disturbing book that I have ever read. And I mean that in the best way possible. I thought I Need Your Skin was creepy and disturbing. This book, right up until about the last half of the last issue, is extremely disturbing. The twist at the very end kind of killed the momentum for me that they had on it. But overall, you have to read this book. Scott Steiner can do no wrong. It basically follows a family that moves to a town after their daughter gets accused of murdering a school bully, despite the fact that evidence came out that girl had mental issues, found guns and knives in her house and stuff like that. But essentially, what happened was she got snatched by witches, and you basically go through this whole thing and find out that their daughter Sailor has been pledged to the witches to end a curse that was on her mom's has been on her mom's family for like a century at that point. And she was just trying to break it. So it basically follows along the dad, who's a writer, a successful writer, tells, but it has a bunch of graphic novels and stuff like that, trying to save her, and nobody would believe him. And you have that twist at the end where it's the mother that did everything to try and gain abilities. Because if you pledge somebody to the witches, you get rewards. Like, she was paralyzed from an accident, and her reward was she could walk again. And so she wanted to get the curse lifted off her family and try to start a new one. And it basically ends with the dad deciding, no, that's not what he wants to do. And he tries to save his daughter. I will not give the huge twist again at the end because I really, really, really want you guys to go read this. The art goes back and forth between really, just normal comic book, light, bright art. And then it goes into kind of what you see here on the cover. It completely changes styles whenever they are around the witches and they come out. And it's very cool because sometimes you'll see it on the same page where it'll go from one thing right to the other. This is my pick of the week because this is the last real big read that I did. So if you have not checked this out, you need to. It's one of the best horror comics ever written.
I'm in total agreement with you. I had read this, I think, last year, and I did like a little short on it to talk about, horror comics you should read. Yeah, this one, and trust me, folks, when Sean says he doesn't want to spoil the twist, the thing with the mom isn't even the biggest twist.
Nope.
So all right, let's see what you got next. Hey, this is familiar.
Yeah, this is my Christmas gift many moons ago. This is also the very first Kevin Smith comic I ever read, and now I understand why people say that Kevin Smith is such a brilliant writer. This is one of my favorite Daredevil stories for my favorite comic book hero. For anybody who doesn't know, Daredevil is my favorite comic hero of all time. Essentially what this is it's Mysterio is basically dying, and he wants to do one last thing and torment one last person. And he knows that Spider-Man would see through all of his smoke and mirrors that he does, but Daredevil's blindness and whatnot kind of makes him a perfect target for some of what this does. And he screws with him the whole time. God, I'm trying to remember a little bit of it. I want to say that he's still reeling from like Karen Page's death in this. And then the big thing that he messes with him is like it's a child of Jesus Christ throughout most of this. And it's this just kind of what is the word I'm looking for? Psycho something.
Psychosomatic?
No, what is the word I'm looking for? It was how I described the Star Trek episode today, but damn it, psychological thing. But it's just this huge kind of psychological journey of watching Matt kind of go through very deep, dark parts of his mind, wondering if he's crazy. And then you get the twist at the end of the book where it's been Mysterio playing with his mind the whole time. So this is, for me, is a must read if you're a Daredevil fan. Along with, I'll give a small shout out to Daredevil Yellow. That's another really good one. If you haven't read that one, that's basically real short. I'll give you a twofer. That is Matt writing letters to Karen Page, and that's the origin of him going from the yellow suit to the red suit. So he's writing letters and recounting. He's telling Karen that he's Daredevil, and recounting, tales of him in the yellow suit, and then how I think it's a suggestion from Karen as to where the red suit comes from. So it's a really cool deep dive into Daredevil on that one. So there's my twofer.
Nice. Well, since you did a twofer,
I'm going to do a threefer.
No, I'll go ahead and I'll pop on and I'll do a little twofer and come back to you because I think you got quite a few more books left than I do. Well, we'll see. So, Kick-Ass. I can tell you this, folks. If you've watched the movie, you definitely don't know the book. It is, I don't want to say vastly different, but there are some key differences from the book in the movie. So you have this guy named Dave Lazowski, and he's just a nerdy kid who, out of the blue, just decides, I'm going to buy this, this diving suit or whatever it is. I'm going to become a superhero. Well, his first time out, he gets badly beaten, stabbed, and put in the hospital. He loses a lot of nerve feeling, and he's got some metal parts in him, like, metal rods and screws and stuff like that. Now, I won't go too far into it because it's going to start sounding like the movie. But there are things that happen in this book, man, that it's Mark Miller. I'm sorry. It's actually pronounced Miller. That happened in this book that I'm like, this feels more like what Dave should have been like in the movie. Like, the tropey guy gets the girl. That's the only spoiler I'll give you, folks. Wow, does he not get the girl in this one? But there's Kick-Ass 2. I want to say there's like a new Kick-Ass, but I can't remember what that one's called. I loved that movie when it came out. I loved it. I loved it to this day. These comics are great, and neither one ruins the other for me. So if you've never read Kick-Ass, but you've seen the movie and you love the movie, I'm telling you, if you can, give the comic a shot. It is fantastic.
When I saw Kick-Ass, I didn't even know it was a comic.
I didn't either.
And I love that movie. The first 5 minutes when Nick Cage pulls up the gun and shoots his little girl, I'm like, what is this?
Yep.
I love that movie.
Yeah. And
so would you say the book is better or as good, or?
It's really hard to say. I think the book might be a little better.
Okay.
But I think the movie handled some elements of better than the book did. If that makes any sense.
Did you say there's a third one?
Yeah, there's a.
I never saw the third one
because I think there's like
into that too.
There's a new book-wise. I don't know about movies.
Oh, okay.
This is book-wise. There's like a brand new there's also a Hit Girl series. I forgot that. There's the 2 Kick-Asses or 3 Kick-Asses. The third one is like a new person. And then there's also, I think, some Hit Girl comics. This one is for EXP fans out there everywhere because this joke still happens all the time. This is Karma by Dan Wickline. This is the story about a photographer for an ad agency who's kind of like a quiet and reserved guy. And he gets a call from a friend asking him to like fill in for this photo shoot. And it's like these, I don't want to say S&M, but more bondage kind of things. And this is where he meets Karma, the title character. And this is like an unlikely whirlwind romance. It's sexy. It's very spicy, but it's not just about nudity and sex and everything. Dan Wickline, who is somebody I've worked with in the past, somebody I still watch his show to this day, he's a fantastic writer. And this has so much substance to it. It's not just a dirty book. There is some spicy stuff in here, but it's a very, very well told story. Nothing feels forced in it. And I've always wondered, like, and I think it is. I think some of the stuff that happens in this book has actually happened to Dan.
Yep.
Dan has some stories, folks. Dan has some stories. Dan has led a very interesting life.
I was talking to him the other night, and I told him, I said, honestly, when you're done writing your Obsidian Moon or whatever, you should honestly consider either doing a comic graphic novel or a book autobiography.
Yes.
Because the stories that man has are amazing.
Yes.
And the things he's been through and the people he's met and the stuff he's transitioned from one to the other. And yes, he said a bunch of that stuff in Karma was based on his days. It's amazing. And then we all remember Karma too and the fun that caused. But Dan is a fantastic writer. Jay has been teasing me forever that I'm starstruck whenever I get a chance to talk with Dan, and he's not wrong, because I've been reading Dan's stuff since way, way, way back. And when Jay first mentioned his name, I'm like, wait a minute, the Dan Wickline that used to write for Xenoscope? And he was like, yeah. I was like, holy shit, he's on here, and and I'm honored to call him friend now. But yeah, his stuff is fantastic. I bought his whole catalog off him digitally, and he sold it to me for a song because he's being nice. But I love Dan's stuff, and I just wish I can't understand how he doesn't have more followers, and it kills me.
Yeah. No, I am 1,000% on board with you. Like, folks, Dan is he's a genuinely nice person. He's just a fantastic writer, and just working with him, always had fun, always had a fun time. Love to have him on the channel someday. I'm pretty sure if I asked him, he would come on. I just always like, he might be too busy, but I think eventually I'm going to ask Dan to come on. I'd love to talk to him again. Love hanging out with him on Sundays when he does his show. Put that link in the description. Make sure you go follow him. This is a man that when he talks about pop culture and comic news, I listen, because he is not one to just throw out wild ass speculations, but he will. But he'll let you know. He won't be like, this is fact. He will tell you, no, this is just a wild ass speculation I have. But a lot of the things he does, he researches, he makes sure if he puts his belief in something, he's going to make sure he has made sure that it's the truth. One of the most honest people in the YouTube comic and pop culture sphere, in my opinion. Great guy.
And also one of the nicest guys you could ever want to talk to.
Really
He's so respectful of your opinions, and
yeah.
And if you ever have a question about anything to do with upcoming movies or shows or whatever, if he don't know, he'll find out, and he usually finds out really fast. I'm like, how the hell do you do that? Because I Googled it for 3 hours and didn't find anything. So the man is connected, and it just blows me away that he isn't a huge channel. And there's only like, on his Sunday shows, maybe he gets 20 people in there, and that's just, it's crazy. There should be hundreds in there, but I don't know.
He also played a dead body
He did.
in an episode of Dexter.
And he told that whole story, and I was pissing myself laughing when he was talking about the goop they kept having to put on his head, and how whenever he'd move because he was uncomfortable, they'd have to re-goop him.
Yep.
That's, like I said, he needs to write. How fun would it be if he did like an autobiographical comic series?
I'm telling you.
Or, even if it was an adult book without the picture. But I keep nagging him. It's like, Dan, you really need to do an autobiography, because he's got a story for everything.
Yeah.
And it's 100% legit, because he'll tell the same story 6 months later and nothing changes. It's the same story. And not that I'm trying to talk anybody into subscribing to Dan Wickline's channel or anything, but
you
subscribe
should.
to Dan Wickline's channel. He's awesome.
Yeah. He really is. I remember when we had the Dan Wickline show on The Experience. It first started like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We would do the cold open of the show would be him doing a dad joke, and man, did he have some great ones. There are some dad jokes he had that were like 5 minutes long, but once he got to the punchline, it was hilarious. So, moving on with the books, showing a little Valiant love. I got a couple. I think I only have 2 Valiant books here. This is Unity. Unity is kind of Valiant's Justice League, Avengers, kind of. So a lot of the big heroes joining together. You got Exo Man of War up here. You got Toya. I'm trying to. There we go. Toya Harada, Livewire, Ninjak, and the Eternal Warrior. Plus, there's some other characters in here. Basically, when all these characters, much like the main DC Marvel people, when they have a problem that's too big for one or two of them, they have this group called Unity. This one is trying to find the year. I can't remember the year, but this is in the earlier days of 2014 to 2016 of Valiant, kind of like their golden years when they made their big comeback. I know for a lot of people that newer Valiant stuff it doesn't click with a lot of folks, and I get that. I would tell you that if nothing of the newer Valiant stuff does anything for you, check out the older stuff. I personally thought Bloodshot Unleashed was like one of the best things Valiant put out. But there's another Exo book, and I forget the name of it, that was really good. But trust me, as a huge Valiant fan, some of the newer stuff isn't 100% clicking with myself either. But Valiant is a great comic universe. It is one that back in these days rivaled Marvel and DC. So if you're a Justice League fan, if you're an Avengers fan, and you want to see kind of a different take on that, check out Unity from Valiant. I'm going to go ahead and do another one. We got, and I tried to talk about this on Henry's show the other night. There's 2 different ones. So there's a Kills the Marvel Universe, and then there's Marvel Universe versus the Punisher. Now, this is the one I was trying to talk about when I was like, it kind of reminds me of Marvel Zombies, but not. So this is something that happened because of Frank. So in a routine strike on mobsters and weapon dealers, Frank unleashes a dangerous pathogen that destroyed human society, turning everyone it touches into murderous cannibals. So not zombies, but murderous cannibals. And you got to think superheroes that are cannibals, that aren't zombies, and still have pretty much, I don't know. It's different than the zombie ones. That's all I can say. Like it's definitely a different feel. So since he feels like since he's the one who brought this on, he's the one that's got to take care of it. And it's Castle doing what he does best, taking care of business. And that's exactly what this book is. I found this years ago by accident. I'd never seen this. But I was in the comic shop looking through the Punisher stuff because I am a Punisher fan. And I saw this. I also have the Punisher Kills the Marvel Universe, but it's not a thick trade like this. It's just a thicker comic. But I saw this and I was like, well, how is this any different? Totally different. Vastly different. Definitely not zombies. So if you're a Punisher fan, if you're a fan of these one-shot worlds that they do sometimes, Marvel vs. the Punisher is a definite pickup. All right. Going back to Sean. Let's see what's next on the list here. Dick Tracy. Have not read any of this myself, so.
You're slacking. Folks, this is so good. So damn good. It was on our top 10 list for last year of favorite comics I read. And at that point, when I read it, I think I'd only read issues 1 through 5. And I have since gone to, I think, about issue 10. Man, if you are a fan of the Warren Beatty movie, check this out because this is not anywhere anything like that. All the characters are there, but this is a much more adult, violent, dark kind of story than that movie. As much as I love it, it's one of my favorite movies ever. But the first arc essentially centers around Big Boy coming into power. He's in the back. He's kind of hidden in the background. Nobody really knows who he is. He's pulling a bunch of strings, and Flat Top is his kind of guy that goes and he will just mow you down. There are a lot of badass gunfights in this. Tess Trueheart in this, instead of being, they really never say who she is in the movie, but she's a reporter in this one, who's got just as much a inkling for danger as Dick Tracy does. This is a fun read, and it's still ongoing from what I remember. So definitely check it out. It is a badass read. So good. Crossover. Have not finished the series yet, but it is good. This whole, if I remember right, this whole thing centers around a bubble that has formed around one of the major cities in the U.S. And it's a girl trying to get into that city for whatever reason. A little scatterbrained on it, but this Donnie and Jeff Shaw in this, it's so good. The amount of characters they were able to get permission to use for this series is amazing, and that is partly the reason for the title crossover, because it is a giant crossover comic of universes from, there's Marvel characters, DC, other Image characters, so many people in this. I forget how many issues this went, but if you want to just see comic characters as a whole interact, this is one of the best books to do it with.
Excuse me. Very cool. Very cool. All right. Let's see.
I'm going to go minute to skim it with these just rapid fire reviews.
Well, that's good, because I think I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got 6 more.
I don't even know how many I got left.
Quite a bit.
I only gave you like 20, I think. Anyways, what's next?
We'll just go do one more for you, because we had Trish on Aggressive Positivity this past Tuesday. It was a delight. She talked about this. She talked about Feral. But, Sean, I want to hear you talk about Stray Dogs.
Yes, because I have not read Feral. So hopefully Jay's got Feral on his list and he can tell you about it. Stray Dogs is a very unique murder. I wouldn't really call it a murder mystery, but kind of a murder type story, told from the point of view of dogs. And dogs' memories don't work like ours do. They can forget things very easily from moment to moment, but their sense of smell can bring it back. And what it is there's a bunch of stray dogs that are owned by this guy who stalks, I think it's young women specifically, but he stalks people and then he murders them and he keeps their dogs. And most of the dogs don't think anything of it until the main character on the cover just feels like something is off, and believe ends up she ends up smelling like an article of clothing, and suddenly remembers all her memories come flooding back as to what happened, how she knows the guy, and everything like that. And slowly but surely, the other dogs, it kind of starts happening in the same way. I think it's issue 3 with Rusty is one of the saddest moments in this entire series. We all were very disheartened at the end of that and ready to kill this dude. But yeah, it's so good, and just a unique story. Just the fact that they thought to tell it from the dog's point of view and actually make it factual and how their minds and how their memories work and how they remember people is awesome. So you definitely need to check this out, along with their follow-up series Feral, which follows cats in a zombie apocalypse. So they've created a really cool universe with this.
Yeah. Oh, it's Victor. Wasn't Victor the three-legged dog?
I can't remember if his name was Victor or Rusty, but yeah, it's a three-legged dog. We were all ready to kill this dude at the end of that issue, though.
Yeah, I told Trish, I was like, my wife and brother were just very upset. Said wife wouldn't let hand go for a day or two. Like it'll crush you. Like
the ending of issue 2 is one of the funniest endings ever in a comic book.
Oh my god.
They tried to make that so dramatic. It's just so over the top sad that I was cracking up. I couldn't help myself. I thought it was hilarious, but I'm the kind of guy that would laugh at a funeral. So that kind of crap just cracks me up.
You don't understand what it means. You seem well.
Well, yeah, exactly. You want to sing the rest of the song with me?
No,
I'll pump up the jam.
I think it's Victor because I think I looked this up specifically for the show. I think it's Victor. But either way, it was sad to normal people.
Hey, I've always said I'm the weird one.
No, it's Victor. She's right.
Yeah.
There's a different dog. There is a dog named Rusty in there, but that's different down the line. So it's Victor is who we're thinking of.
Okay. That's all right, man. I thought his name was Lucky before I looked it up. So, going with a little more Valiant love, Shadow Man. It's a story about Jack Boniface in Louisiana. He's got to embrace this legacy that his family has. They're attached to these things called Loas. What gives them their power, and they fight the forces from the. I can't remember if it's dead side. So there's dead side, life side, and there's some kind of middle part that I can't remember the name of right now. But this right here is Jenna's favorite. This is her favorite. One of her favorite Valiant characters is Shadow Man, and some of you might remember a long, long time ago.
Agent Hubbard.
And the Ancient of there was a video game called Shadow Man, and yes, that's kind of based off the same character, but that is around the time that Acclaim had bought Valiant, so you had a lot of weird stuff going on with the Valiant characters. Exo Manowar was more like Tony Stark. Ninjak was a kid who had beaten the Ninjak video game, kind of like Starfighter. A lot of weird stuff going on with Valiant when they were owned by Acclaim. But this one is dude fighting demons, protecting Earth. It's again very supernatural, very, very fun story. Really cool covers. Like I don't know if you can see all the, because my camera's blurry and doesn't want to focus, but very cool covers. This series, again, fantastic. Written by Justin Jordan, this one was. So if you're into like supernatural kind of heroes,
if you like Hellblazer, you'll probably like this.
There you go. That's a pretty good way to say it. Pretty good way to say it, but that's Shadow Man from Valiant. Old school Valiant, folks. I'm telling you, old school Valiant, 2012 to 2017, 2018.
The Dinesh era.
The Dinesh era, yep. Dinesh Shamdasani. Also a Turtles fan and can spend millions of dollars on original art pages.
Mm-hmm.
Since it's kind of funny that Ed said something about Dan doing like an biographical comic. Oh my goodness, couldn't get the words out. Because something I think everybody should read. You know, it doesn't matter how you feel about the man. Amazing, fantastic, incredible, a marvelous memoir. Stan Lee.
I totally agree with you. I love that book.
The late Peter David with Colleen Duran, which I want to say Colleen Duran was on the art show one time. I think that's the same Colleen. Yo, this is just it hits me in the soul.
Yep.
Because there's some stuff in here that might be a little out there, a little kind of pumped up, but for the most part, this is Stan's story in a way that I really feel like this is the only way you could tell Stan's story is in comic form. There are parts in this book that just tore my freaking heart out, things that I never knew about the man until I got this. And it gives you a bigger appreciation of who he is. You know, I know, especially nowadays, there's a lot of people that Stan and Jack Kirby, there's a whole mess there. But I've never stopped being a fan of Stan Lee, and I'm never going to stop being a fan of Stan Lee. This book is exactly what the title says. If you've never been into reading autobiographies, this is the way to go, folks. This right here, this is one of my favorite things that I own. So, amazing, fantastic, incredible, a marvelous memoir. Stan Lee, Peter David, and Colleen Duran. Only thing that was missing on that cover was Excelsior, but you know, you couldn't fit every word on there. So yeah, there's that, and then we're gonna pop back over here to Sean, and let's see what he's got next. Daredevil Noir.
Yeah, this was a book. Ironically, when I first read it, I was a little disappointed in the ending and how a few things went. But as I've matured over the years, become a senior citizen, I've come to appreciate what this book was. This is definitely kind of like Spider-Man Noir. This is an alternate timeline set way back in the early 1900s, kind of like Spider-Man is, and this has one of the coolest versions of Bullseye, because Bullseye in this one is actually female, and somebody that's trying to get close to Matt in this. It kind of follows along that story of her trying to, if I remember right, it's her trying to, hold on, let me find a description real quick, because I really want to tell the story of this one so folks can read it. All right, okay. Okay, so really what this is, okay, so it follows a femme fatale named Eliza who approaches them to take down a big gangster named Orville Halloran, who essentially is this universe's kingpin. And you kind of learn that this was all a plan of Kingpin and her at the same time, and you learn that she's basically their bullseye. They have a really cool fight in this. Art is awesome. Just a very cool, different take, like a lot of the noir stuff is. I wouldn't say it's as good as Spider-Man Noir, but it is definitely worth checking out for Daredevil fans.
Very cool. I remember it's funny because the first time you read this, you were like, I don't really know if I like this.
Yeah. Yeah, we've got a review up on the channel because it's one of the early videos we did back when I could actually do reviews and do them good.
Oh, yes, because we all know reviews aren't Sean's bread and butter or anything. Anyway, next book.
This was another one that Jenna shoved into my face. It was like, you have to read this. And boy, do you need to. If for no other reason than within like the first 3 pages, Gertrude, who's the main character on the thing, she gets lost in fairyland and gets trapped there essentially. And she's trying to get out and learn, and for whatever reason, learns that she can't escape. So she basically just goes ballistic. But like I said, within the first 3 issues, she takes a cannon and blows up the moon in fairyland. She's got her little friend that's a fly right there on the cover with her, smokes cigars. It's just dark, fun, amazing humor. But what's fun is they don't allow cursing in fairyland. So, the way they use like fuck is fluff, amongst other things. So that it's fun how they get creative with the language and just all of the craziness. This book is probably, it's got to be a top 5 for me of all time. It's one of my favorites. I've got, Jay, if you want to pull me up on camera. Jenna's got the whole first run, but I've got the editions of it that she wishes she had. I've got them in the hardcovers. So there's 4 trades in the first one. So there's book 1, which is the first 2 trades, and I am mirrored. 1 second, people, so you can actually see this cover and appreciate it. There we go. I didn't realize I was mirrored. There we go. Now we can read it. Book 1 and then book 2. And I could have had these signed had Jenna not talked me out of it. They'll still be here. They're signed.
She talked you out of it?
Yeah. And they sold within 3 days.
Was that out of jealousy? Just kidding.
You got kicked out of Fairyland for using the fork incorrectly. Yeah, here's what I'll say about this. So Larry was her guide. Gertrude shows up there as a little girl. And the thing is, when kids get to go to Fairyland, usually within the same day, they find their key to get home. For whatever reason, Gertrude just didn't. So she's stuck there for years and years. I think she's in her 20s or 30s or maybe, almost 40s.
Yeah. Still
stuck there. Now, in terms of violence, folks, when it comes to books like this in this cartoony world, for me, it goes this, Dork, and Pretty Violent. That cartoony violence.
Yeah.
So good. Yeah. And the thing I love about I Hate Fairyland is it's still going. Or it was still going. They took a little bit of a break. Yeah. Then Scotty, who had been doing the writing and the art on some of them, started getting other people to not only do the art, but write the stories as well. Yeah. So then that's how we get Gert is out of Fairyland. And then she goes back by going to find Scotty in the book.
That's
very meta. So great stories. I've told, not to his face, because obviously I've never met Scotty face to face, but through his Substack and things like that, I've told him this is my favorite thing he's ever done. And I know that Scotty has done a lot, and there's a lot of good stuff, but I Hate Fairyland is by far my favorite Scotty Young thing. Yeah, and more stories from Gertrude and Fairyland is great.
Yeah, this and Middle West, I think, are his best works, but this one's just far and above the best.
Yeah.
The alternate title is hilarious because of the restrictions in Fairyland too.
Yes, and funny enough, there's a little bit of a spoiler in the ending of this particular series. That one kind of lets loose with that word for the first time near the end of the book, and it was amazing. Kyle, I 100% agree, because Brett Bean also did some work on I Hate Fairyland. So, and I think that's why I like Dork so much. Like, Dork is it's not on my list here, but Dork is easily one of my favorite things that I'm reading right now.
Yeah, I need to get caught up in that series.
Love that world, love that character. All right, we're going to give you one more, then we'll switch to mine.
All right. If Jenna was on here, folks, she could really tell you about the awesomeness of this series because I haven't finished it. But I'm about 9 issues in. This is animosity. What this is all of a sudden one day in this world, animals woke up with human level consciousness and intelligence. They could speak, think, on the level of humans, and they basically turn on humanity because they remember how humans have basically subjugated them. And turned a lot of them into pets or just how they've treated them badly. So it's become humans versus animals, with the exception of the little girl here on the cover and her dog. He is fiercely loyal to her. And basically it follows their journey from, I believe her parents die in the first or second issue. And it's following their journey for her to try to find her brother, who is all the way in California. And it is an amazing story. One that I will definitely finish. I think it's 20 something issues of this story. And then there's a couple of other side stories to it. Like I said, if Jenna was here, she could really, really lay out more of the basics, but it's an awesome read. This is one of Aftershock's best series, in my opinion. I do miss Aftershock. I wish they were still around. But you've got to read this. This is like, if you're just a fan of having animals and stuff like that in books, this is probably a must read, along with like Feral and Stray Dogs.
100% agree. 100% agree. So, excuse me. Ooh, there we go. All right. So, for my next one, Sean kind of had it on his list. I didn't know if Sean was going to be here today, so I went ahead and grabbed it. But we both agree on this one. Blackest Night.
Yep.
This is Jeff John's greatness right here.
Thanks for getting that copy.
Yeah. Little backstory on this hardcover. I have almost the entire thing of the Blackest Night, tie-ins and all. I think I'm missing 2. They're all in hardcover. Now I'm going to be super honest. The reason I was able to get all of them in hardcover was eBay. I won a bid. It was like $90 for all of it, and it was too good of a deal to pass up. I wasn't going to be able to afford it any other way.
It was $60.
Oh, it was 60.
Yeah.
There was no way I was going to be able to afford that any other way at the time. So I had to jump on it. Asshole. I get my comics from Amazon, from local comic shops, from eBay, from Amazon, and from Kickstarter. Cheap graphic novels. I get my comics wherever I can. Yeah. I try to support LCSs all the time, which is what you should do. Just saying that sometimes not an option.
I've just got a paper. I've just got a
trade. They pop you up. Come on, show it off.
That's all I've got. I've got the paper.
You still got the story though, don't you?
This was, and if you remember right, this was the first trade I ever bought.
Yeah.
When we were doing comics.
But this is, I'm just going to read the back of it, folks, because it's been a while since I read it, but trust me. Across thousands of worlds, the dead have risen. These Black Lanterns, heroes and villains recruited from beyond the grave, have one perfect purpose: extinguish all light and life in the universe. Hal Jordan has overcome death before. As the greatest Green Lantern to ever wield the Emerald Ring, it is Hal's unquestioned duty to lead the living amongst the overwhelming army of the dead. While Blackest Night consumes Earth's heroes, the 7 cores empowered by the emotional spectrum must end their war against each other, or bear witness to the end of all creation. Each of these wildly different cores, fueled by rage, avarice, fear, will, hope, compassion, and love, must unite against the Black Lanterns. But only those whose light shines the brightest can lift the shadows cast by Black Hand and his followers. As Earth becomes the ultimate battleground between the living and the dead, there is only one certainty: no one escapes death. This is also where we get the very awesome Blue Lantern Flash. Oh my goodness, Black Lantern. Oh my God! Now I forgot most of them. Black Lantern, Batman. Who becomes Fear? Is that Lex that becomes Fear? You remember? It's been a very long time, folks. I'm trying to remember because I know 100% that Flash becomes a Blue Lantern just because I love that version of his emblem.
Yeah. I know Scarecrow becomes a Yellow Lantern. Lex, yes. No, Lex is
Red?
Orange.
Orange, okay.
And then Mira becomes a Red Lantern.
There you go.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of really cool stuff like in this book.
Now, folks, like I said, there's like 10 tie-ins to this, but quite honestly, this is the whole story right here. If you've never read Blackest Night and you're just looking for a big event to read that's not Batman or Superman, which I got a Superman book coming up next, Blackest Night is the one for you.
And then to follow up on that, there's the follow-up story, Brightest Day, which I've only got volume 1 of. But yeah, this comes right after it. Is this as good as Blackest Night? No, but it's still worth reading. So just thought I'd throw that out. All right.
Nice. Yeah. Oh, come on. There we go. Let me switch right here. Then we got one of my just favorite kind of out there books, Superman Sacrifice. This is a book where Maxwell Lord has basically taken over Superman's brain and making him see things that aren't there. Like there's at one point he thinks he's in a fight with Darkseid and it's actually Batman. There's another one where he almost kills Lois Lane and it's up to Wonder Woman to save him. This, big spoiler alert, folks. Sorry, but I'm going to tell you. This is the death of Maxwell Lord. This was a short that I did a while back called Shocking Moments in Comics. This was part of it because not only does she slice Superman's neck with her tiara, she snaps Maxwell Lord's neck. So this is the death of Maxwell Lord. This is a fantastic story, and even though I spoiled that for you, it's still so worth the read. Such a fantastic book. I love Superman. I love Superman stories. This is just, again, this is bias, but fantastic story about Superman. Just some of the things that Maxwell Lord makes him see, just that mind control aspect is because there's a thing about Superman. Magic, kryptonite, obviously, but he's only so not unaccessible. That's not the word I'm looking for. There's only so far mind control.
Invulnerable.
Yeah, invulnerable. Thank you. Invulnerable to mind control he is. Like there are certain aspects of him himself where he has had certain blocks put into his brain. So it's a fantastic story. Again, definitely check it out. Now I only got 2 books left, so we're gonna hop over to Sean. Because Sean's got a couple more. Cross the Bear.
So this one I'm gonna read the synopsis of because this was one that I read about 6 years ago. But essentially, it centers around Jack the Ripper. So here's the synopsis of it. Jack the Ripper was never caught because no one was looking for him in the Wild West. No one except the Order, an organization made up of the descendants of crusaders sworn to eradicate the unnatural. The Order will stop at nothing to fulfill the pledge of their forefathers made, even if it means crossing the ocean or a line or two. And essentially what they're hinting at by the unnatural part is, I'll spoil it for you, Jack the Ripper in this is a vampire. It is a fantastic fucking story. Supernatural Old West. I'm not big into Western stuff, but whenever you do these cool supernatural elements, the Old West becomes extremely interesting. So if that's your jam, there's another book on my list. It's also a supernatural Western, so you'll kind of see that. this is 100% worth reading. It kind of, you know, is Knights Templar meets the Old West is a good way to put it. Super fun story. I think it's only 4, maybe 5 issues, so it's not much if you can find it. It's real quick read.
You know, this reminds me, not 100%, but there's a new book out that I need to get a hold of called "The Dirt Beneath the Devil," and it feels like it's a Western, either Western supernatural or Western horror, one of the two. But I think it's called "The Dirt Beneath the Devil." And Sean, I was wrong. I only had more blanks on here. You only have one book after this, so we're going to go and switch it. Because I only have 2 books. You only have 1 book left.
Oh, okay. Well, then I'm pretty sure that the book I just alluded to is my 1 book left.
It is. It is. So I'm going to talk about this one real fast. Folks, this is Gotham Central. This is Ed Brubaker, Greg Rucka, fantasticness. This is basically about, obviously, GCPD and what they do when Batman's not around. Because just because the sun comes up doesn't mean crime stops. This is an awesome crime procedural. It's one of those things where you're like, but there's no real superheroes in it. Why would I read this? It's a fantastic book. And if you've ever read anything by either one of these writers, you know it's great. Like, this is a hard one to explain other than the fact that there's no Batman. Don't expect Batman to pop up in this too terribly much. I think there might be a panel or 2 or 3, something like that. But this is mainly about the GCPD and what they go through, like, when Batman's not around. So, fantastic book. Yep.
This was suggested by Shanice, right?
I believe so. And I read the first issue of it and bought volume 1 and 2.
Yep, I remember that because both you and Jenna have read it.
Yeah.
Because I remember it spanning from a Space Cadets episode.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it's a great book, folks. If you want something a little bit different but still set in the DC world, Gotham Central is definitely for you. Especially if you're into like police and crime drama and stuff like that. Very awesome book. All right, let's get to Sean's last one.
All right.
A lot of love for this publisher because we have a lot of love for them.
Yes, and a lot of love for this writer. This was the very first book I ever read by Scott Wilkie. Dead End Moon, another supernatural Western. This basically follows our main character on the cover, Maggie Dean, who is a cursed bounty hunter roaming a haunted frontier. She's trying to find an undead gunslinger that murdered her father. She is afflicted by a spectral infection that grants her the ability to see ghosts and other supernatural things. And grants her certain powers too, because like she's got these kind of really cool glowing bullets that she can shoot. And she's a deadly shot. Her horse is awesome, but it is such a cool series. She finds the gunslinger almost by the end of issue 2, but the story really only begins right there, and it just starts taking off. It's a good start. It's a nice pace start, and then it just starts ramping up with the action and the drama and the background of what's going on as she opens up and tells more of her story. So it is one of my favorite books, period. It's probably the first Western that I can recall reading in comics, and so it's a very kind of near and dear thing. Again, first comic I'd read by Scott after we'd become friends with him as well. Just, there's not much I can say other than Scott's just a fucking gem of a human and one of the best writers in comics, period.
Yeah, I think I read issue 1 of this, but I don't think I've read anything too far.
I'm several issues behind, so if they continue doing trades of some of the stuff and they trade this one, you bet your ass I'm buying this book.
Yeah, 100%. And if you could, Sean, while I'm doing this, will you grab the Bad Bug Midnight site and link it in the comments, please? And then I'm going to do my last book.
All right, I'm going to do Bad Bug, and I'll do Bad Bug Midnight as well.
Awesome. So this one is another bad bug book. This is Bearskin. This book is, believe the crazy person is kind of what it tells me. So you have this hulking guy who literally walks around in a bear suit. And the opening of this is he's in a diner, goes into the restroom, changes into the bear suit, comes out and just hacks everybody to death. Now, he tells people that he sees monsters. Nobody else can see them. And I think if we all know our tropes, folks, what happens to the people in the movies and the comics when they tell you they see monsters and demons? That's usually what's there. So the rest of this book is this guy protecting a lot of people who look down on him, who think he should be locked away, who just think he's the psycho murderer. But it's him protecting these people. Such a fantastic book. It's scary. It's got heart at the same time. I didn't get a chance to get the second. There's a second story, and I cannot remember the name of it, but it's like basically Mrs. Something's little boy or something like that. Folks, this is a book that if you're just looking for different, Bad Bug's motto is something along the lines of they write comics that you didn't know you wanted. And this is definitely one that, when I read it, I was like, nope, this is actually exactly what I wanted. But thanks for giving it to me. But I always like those stories that kind of subvert expectations in the best ways. It's kind of like the movie Frailty. If anybody's ever seen Frailty, you spend most of that movie, and spoilers for a movie that's like 20-something years old, you spend most of that movie thinking that the people that you're introduced to are crazy, and that these other people are the good ones. And then by the end of that movie, it totally flips that on its head, and you realize, oh no, these people aren't crazy. They could just see what we couldn't see. Frailty is a fantastic movie, folks. If you've never seen it, if you're not, like, if the spoiler didn't spoil it too much for you, check that movie out. Fantastic movie, and that's exactly what this book reminds me of. And that, folks, is the last book that we have on the list. I'm trying to make sure I got this right. Yes, I do. That's the last book on this list of books. I love doing shows like this because it's not so much reviewing the books as it is just telling you parts of the books that we liked, that maybe if there's something you've never seen before, you're like, you know what? I'm going to check that out. And if you do, as always, folks, come back and let us know what you thought. I'm always interested, whether it's good or bad. If you read one of these books and you're like, dude, this sucked, so be it. That's fine. So, Ed, I know you haven't had a lot to say because what we were doing here, but is there anything that you remember reading? It doesn't have to be very recent, but are there any comics that you think people should check out?
Well, I was surprised that a lot of people hadn't heard of Mouse when you went over that last week. Yeah, because that's always been my favorite. For me, that's the jumping point into indie. As far as nothing that I haven't mentioned before. If you want something different in horror, but you don't want to invest a lot of time, The Closet is a quick read. It's only 3 issues. It's a really good story. We've talked to death about Harrower and the other ones, but yeah, I was so shocked that a lot of people didn't know what Mouse was. And I'm glad that I did my little part to bring that little gem back to life, because anybody who reads comics should read Mouse.
Yeah, and I knew of Mouse because I knew it was like one of those banned books. I've known of Mouse. I've just never read it. So I'm so glad that you picked it, and it ended up on the list to where I had to read it. And
somebody in your chat came on and said, I never even heard of this book before.
I think that was Corey.
Well, I didn't want to call him out, but it was.
Yeah, but I think he went and bought it that night.
Yeah, so. He ordered it. He ordered 1 and 2 off of Amazon. Yeah,
that's awesome.
I think we should do something like this again in October because Halloween, just start getting the horror, the Halloween theme books.
And well, if I would have known, I could have had something ready.
Well, I'm giving you like a couple months notice here. We're going to try to do something in October the same way. We'll just do a theme show based on.
Well, I can't make any promises because Nope and I are going to do our Shocktober part 2. So we're going to be doing all kinds of Halloween stuff. But if we're not doing anything on a Saturday, yeah, sure. Yeah.
You will be here, damn it.
Coming from the guy who's been here 3 times. Shut up, man.
I know.
I'll be here if I can. I just know I got screwed out of Shocktober last year because I broke my back in September. So this year, all the plans I had for last year, I kind of hope to do, and I hope I didn't just jinx myself. I'm not even going to get out of bed in September. I'm just going to do everything remotely so I don't get cursed again. And
please, just put yourself in like a remote control wheelchair so you can just go wherever you need.
The craziest thing was, though, is it was just a couple weeks after I broke my back that Nope broke his ribs and shit. Yeah. And it's like, dude, are we trying to off ourselves? What is happening?
Yeah, please don't.
Yeah, I'll try not to. At least until October's over.
Somebody get a cameo from Danhausen, Uncursed Ed.
Please.
You're not cursed.
I love that guy. Oh my God! Did you see that bit that him and Henry did together? The song. Oh my God! I was rolling. I was absolutely rolling.
Speaking of, folks, for anybody, tonight is SummerSlam Night 1, which is the night I'm interested in. Because
this multi-night shit is just so stupid. I hate it so much.
Nick Aldis is back in the ring, which I'm excited about. And then pretty sure it's Brock's retirement match. Hell in a Cell versus Oba. So
you think they're going to have Oba crushing?
I don't know. I really don't know what they're going to do. But I've been trying to avoid spoilers because I keep seeing stuff. I heard Aldis came out to Oasis, so I'm kind of curious what song he chose. But I've been a fan of him since he was known as Magnus in TNA. He had a legendary 1,000-day reign as the NWA World Heavyweight Champion that Cody broke at the All In pay-per-view that they did. So just a fan of him, and if anybody has a chance, go watch his second interview he did with Chris Van Fleet, and they talk about that. He starts crying because he's that emotional about the fact that he gets to get in the ring again. So it means a lot to him, and just I've been a fan of the guy for years. And,
Chris Van Fleet anyway.
Yeah. But yeah, and I mean, and let alone the fact that the dude's married to Mickie James. So.
I don't know if you meant that in a good way or a bad way. But...
it means he's awesome. It just shows how awesome he is. Yeah.
Mickey is so fine. She's so fine. She blows my mind. Hey, Mickey.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Nikki's also crazy.
Which makes her even hotter.
She is crazy. Anyway, her character was crazy. I'll never forget what she did to Stratus. I mean, my jaw's still on the floor that night. That was unbelievable.
Awesome.
Oh, and if I may have a moment of silence, it's official. Edward von Bissenstein is dead. They killed my account today that they've had locked for 6 months. I had that account for 22 years. I have friend chats with friends that are no longer alive, pictures, all kinds of crap were in there, and they didn't even give me a chance to get any of it. And they never did tell me what I did or why. But all of my groups were released today, and had I not had a secondary account that I had as an admin, I would have lost all them too, but I was able to reclaim them all under Eddie Von B until they banned this account for whatever stupid reason. But I'm still pretty pissed at Facebook about that. So fuck you, Facebook, is the way I will use my F-bomb of the night. And there you go.
So I'm gonna do this real quick because I'm gonna bring the mood down just a bit for a minute. But folks, if you haven't yet, please do yourself a favor. go sub up to Weird Opes. We're trying to get these guys more subscribers because they deserve it, and I cannot wait to see what they're going to be doing for Shocktober. I'm so ready for it, man. I'm really hopeful that you get to do all the things you wanted to do that you didn't get to do. So please,
I sure hope so.
So, folks, I am going to bring it down just a little bit. 5 or 6 years ago, Jenna and I had some friends. Guy I met through work, and he was the guy that was like, "Hey, man, we should try to come together and let's try to own a comic shop. Let's try to run a comic shop." And that obviously never happened. We never got too far into it. But while I was the one that came up with the name, Hydra Comics was going to be the name of the store. Now we had a falling out with them, and we hadn't talked to them in, like I said, 6 years. And unfortunately, I got the news yesterday before I started working that the day before that the husband, his name was Jason, passed away in his sleep. I have a lot of mixed feelings about it. It's not like I hated the guy at all. There was many years of friendship there. I am going to miss him, but it was we weren't very close. We hadn't been close for 6 years, but it was very surreal hearing something like that. It's not something that I'd ever think that I would hear. But he was kind of the person that was there when I came up with Hydra. So I just want to say to his family, I'm very sorry for your loss. For the most part, I have a lot of good memories with him. So Jason Allen Barrett, rest in peace, man. I just wanted to say that because it's been on my mind the last couple of days and during the show. Every time I say Hydra or see Hydra, now I'm thinking about, I came up with that name when he was there. So just wanted to give my condolences to the family and tell them the rest easy. So didn't mean to bring it down, folks, but it is on my mind, and I have to talk stuff out sometimes, or it's just going to sit with me forever. But there we go. All right. So let me bring it back up for a minute before we end the show, okay? Because now it's time to pick a new list book. So let me do that real fast. We're going to see if I can remember what I'm doing here. There we go. All right. Let's see. I'm going to shuffle it up a little bit. Let's see what I'm reading next. And as always, folks, you can also, if you find a way to get the books, you can join us. Corey Rust, and I spelled it wrong. Everything Dead and Dying. Very cool, because I actually started this, but I'm going to go back. I only read issue 1, but I'm going to go back and do this. Very cool. This was a very strong opening issue. And yes, it is everything, not everything. Very cool, Roberto. I was going to say very awesome and very cool at the same time that time. So yeah, Everything Dead and Dying will be the list book for next week. Ed's got a new sub, which is fantastic.
Oh, how do you know that? Oh, hey, thanks, Roberto. I couldn't see the chat.
Always watching.
And of course, now that the show's over, the chat's right.
I know.
Now I can see the whole thing.
Yeah, so now what I need to do is copy this particular scene or duplicate it, drag it up to the first one, and replace that other one. Because I don't know why this one is working and the other one's not.
Because fuck you, that's why.
Yeah, pretty much.
If any of y'all have ever heard of or are fans of Mr. Fish,
yes, talk about that, Ed.
We have confirmed that we're going to be doing an interview with him on his new Kickstarter. And basically what the new Kickstarter is it's cool as hell. He's doing a book about how to make your own comic from beginning to end, including all the things that you've never thought of. And he's hoping that if this goes through, he might even make it an open public release in the future for anybody who's interested. So if you've ever been interested in, I mean, this man's been doing his own stuff and he does it all on his own. And he's been on the Jay's channel, the EXP, as a artist on the SketchUp. He's got his own channel. He has this show called Roll for Heroes, where him and another guy, and sometimes it's 3 or 4 guys, they roll D&D dice, just like you would if you were playing D&D. And the dice, they have a list on the screen, and it tells them what kind of character they got to draw, what powers the character has to have, and under what conditions the character lives. So, and then whatever the dice say is what everybody has to draw. And it's kind of fun to watch. So a shout out to Mr. Fish. If you're a fan, look for him coming up on the Weird Dopes probably in the next couple weeks, because his Kickstarter launches tomorrow night.
Nice.
Thanks for letting me pump that, Jay.
Absolutely. I was trying to find Mr. Fish's YouTube link, but for some reason I can't find it.
You want me to send it to you?
Yeah, would you please? Because I'm just...
I think if you look up Roll for Heroes, you'll probably find it.
Or if I put comics at the end of Mr. Fish.
Yeah, that helps too.
There we go. Okay.
You found it? Okay.
Yes. Come on. Come on. There we go. Okay. YouTube was YouTubing like normal, so.
But I was very happy and surprised that little teaser trailer short that I threw together about having him on hit 1,600 subs last night while I was in bed. So I hope I can help him out with his Kickstarter. That's the whole point. And he's excited to be on there.
Dude, that's great. And Mr. Fish is such a nice dude.
Oh, he is. He's the nicest guy in the world. And it's pretty amazing that he was able to overcome his Tourette's to the point where you wouldn't even know he had it if he didn't write comic characters about it.
Yeah.
And what was cool is that he took the worst part of his life and turned it into his dream about writing comics, and he's using what he went through with Tourette's in the comics that he writes. And that's how you do it right there. That's how you take a negative and turn it upside down.
Exactly, man. I am very excited. Are y'all going to do that live, pre-recorded? Do you have an idea yet?
Haven't met with him yet. Whatever he wants. Okay. I always leave it open to our guest. Knowing him, he'll want it to be live because he likes to interact and take questions and stuff. But it's totally his call. Whenever we do an interview, we always let the guest, do you want to be live or do you want it recorded and edited? So, yeah. But more to come very soon.
If you do like last time, man, just send me the thumbnail and
I will.
I'll do what I can. And once you have a link to whatever you're going to do, stories and everything, man, I push that thing to the moon.
I appreciate it, brother.
Absolutely. Got to help the sister channel out, man.
Thank you.
Awesome. So, folks, check all the links. Hopefully when the live chat will be up pretty soon. If not, I will try to remember. I'm very bad at remembering putting links in the actual description. But there are some links already in there to channels that we watch, channels that we personally enjoy. Those will probably be updated with more. Again, if there's anybody that, we're not trying to tag you to make you come watch the show. It's just, unfortunately, sometimes when I go to put people's channels in there, it tags them. That's never the intent. It's more of we just want to make sure that people, know these are folks that we watch. So check all those links. Check out the Kickstarters. again, huge congrats to Ed Davis and the crew over there. They were. It was a little tight there near the end. You know, they had in the last 3 days. Yeah, I knew that was coming. That's also what she said.
You beat me to it.
But they hit their goal. So the book is guaranteed to be out there. You still have roughly 19, 20 hours, maybe a little less, to go check that out. So please do so. Anything else coming up before I end it, folks? Anything you want to talk about? Any idea you have for the next show? What anybody wants to do? I don't even care about that. You know, just throw it out there if you got something.
Not a clue.
That's how we roll here, man.
If we can ever find a time, we could probably talk about this backstage, but I think it would be cool if we had like a 20-minute conversation sometime during the week. What do you guys want to talk about? And just brainstorm before we hit, or at least, you know, let me know what you want to talk about. Because I didn't know until 20 minutes before the show.
During most of the week.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying, if you want to brainstorm or something. Because that way, you know, if we have more time to think about it, we'll quit doing like repeat shows and stuff that we've already kind of done before.
I'm going to do repeat shows forever.
They don't call it repeat for no reason.
Yeah.
But
if one fell out of the boat, who's left?
A lot of the hard part for me, though, is most of the time when my night slows down is after you've already gone to bed. Jay's still up for a little bit, but, you know, during the week, I don't want to sit here and message you. It's like, hey, I've got an idea at 2 a.m. and wake your ass up.
Oh, I don't have any apps on my phone, so I won't get it until I turn my computer on.
Oh, okay.
So you can ding me all night long, and if I'm not up, you're not going to get me.
Power.
That's not what she said, damn it. But
no, that's what he said.
That's what he said.
Right.
Okay, well, now that I know that, then yeah, if I get an idea, I'll just throw it in the group chat, and everybody can go from there.
Yeah, that's cool.
Well, all right, folks, I'm gonna wrap it up.
As always, thanks for having me on.
Yeah, still going to do a dramatic reading. Ooh, maybe.
Ooh,
I'll think about that one. Think about that one. I got to get better at doing that since I got to do live reads for ads now. So,
if we're gonna do that,
I'll do my dramatic reading of Karma. And we'll be banned off YouTube.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
We'll just have to put each page up and then just do the dramatic reading behind the scenes.
Not it.
I'll even throw in sound effects.
Oh, jeez.
For free.
Oh, goodness. All right, folks. We're going to end up eventually alternating this, but I'll take the outro this time. So, guys, I will see y'all in the back room.
Oh, yeah.
Jeez. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and then he does it. Cool. All right, folks. Once again, another week, another awesome show. Appreciate, as always, everybody showing up to watch this craziness. You know, it's not super put together, but hopefully hopefully there's some books we talked about tonight that you've put on your list. Check out those other channels. Man, this is just a fun time. One of my favorite things I do outside of working the experience during the week. One of my favorite things that I do. I hope you all have a great rest of your weekend. Take care. I'll see you during the week, and I will see you here next Saturday, 8 Eastern, 7 Central, for another Hydra Hangout. Folks, take care. Later.
We talk about everything that makes us hum. Hail Hydra Asylum, hail Hydra Asylum. From trailers, comics, news, and more, we'll give you what you're looking for. Hail Hydra Asylum, hail, 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 hail Hydra Asylum.
Hydra.
Hydra. Oh,